Hello there, and welcome to Real Talk with Angry Soccer Mom. I'm more confused and disillusioned, but if you're there, please say hi. Really happy to have people today. As you know, like I need to tell you, it's been one heck of 4 years, let's be real, plus a lifetime. Welcome to the show. This week's discussion topics, as always, are anything that you think is newsworthy about racism, bigotry, inequality, and corruption in America. And unfortunately, that's pretty much everything nowadays. So it's a problem. The show is meant to be an opportunity for viewers to speak their mind and to call in as well. And also, it's supposed to serve as an educational tool in cultural competency of all kinds, with a focus on learning the truth about systemic racism in America. And unfortunately, we have one hell of a history. Most people don't know it. Most white folks don't know it. They don't know it. I think it's getting kind of obvious by now, but I won't even go there this early in the show. Thanks for being there. If you believe like I do that it is way past time for white America and anybody in a historical, numerical majority group to learn about other people that don't look like them, don't pray like them, don't do other things like them. I'm not going to say all these things, but you know what I mean. Think about learning about what they do, and you'll be a better person for it. And it's not hard, and you might even make a few friends. So there we are. Enough of my sanctimonious preaching. I have a couple announcements to make, and we will get started because I did a really bad thing. My first announcement is going to be like confession. I did do a really bad thing, and I kind of feel bad about it, but like I'm trying to give myself a break and not feel too bad. But okay, I'll just confess. Fine. And no, it isn't. Okay, no, I have a lot to confess. Okay, I left, that hair dye stuff you put in to make your hair like not gray because I'm like really old. Nails and glitter, welcome. And Andreas, some don't want to know. Yes, thank you for being here. Okay, this is my hair dye story. Okay, I am not feminine. I do not have a feminine bone in my freaking body, and I've known that my whole life, so I'm cool with it. But I try sometimes. So I put that hair stuff in that makes it not gray, and I kind of forgot about it for like 2.5 hours. And well, I was like, come on, how bad could it be? It's been really bad. I think it's like, okay, I won't even get into it. Okay, that's not my confession though. My confession is I heard Trump's speech tonight. I thought it was the most disingenuous, like, joke of a speech, and I wanted people to see it because it was unbelievably telling. And I kind of laughed in it a couple of times, and I was going to redo it, but I didn't have time. Okay, that's my confession. So let's move on. So I am a bad person. Yes. See you all in hell. I'll have so many friends there. But that is really bad. I try to do it with a straight face, but I couldn't because he was so full of shit. It was a joke. He was like, I am not reading this. It's like somebody had a gun to his head. Anyway, enough about my guilt. I want to thank everyone who sends me breaking news because I can't keep up with all this stuff. If you want to get a hold of me for anything, like you want to come on the show, you have something to say, hopefully it's not like mean or anything, or, I'm just saying that's how you get a hold of me, and I will be thrilled to have you. So let me say hello, GETV, welcome. George Floyd's case is being split into 2 trials against the officers accusing him of, you know what? Oh, don't even get me started. Yes, that's Gary. I know I'm evil, but I felt really bad because like I'm not like one of the goody two shoes, but okay, forget. I'll just stop. Okay, I felt guilty, but of course I clearly didn't feel that guilty because I put it on. I was like, it's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm getting jaded and evil. What can I say? Andrea, I heard, and it was nothing but a lie. He can send out those 2,000 checks and yeah, amen to you. Yes, he's absolutely obnoxious. I'm dying to get a tape of him going, my followers are freaking lunatics. They're all idiots. I mean, like, this is all like a game to him. People's lives. But anyway, I'm trying to stick to the subject matter here. Thank you for being here. If you are new, please consider subscribing. If you want to watch the show first and see if you like it or whatever. The show is a very small portion of what I do. I try to do videos, and the videos I can't do myself because I can't keep up with all this, I stick on so people can try to keep up. And I love talking to people who watch the show. I love talking to them on the phone. I love FaceTiming them. So it's like wonderful for me. It's like, I love it. So Mahako, welcome. Hey, Trump's the devil. And I don't think any apology he says is genuine. Any sane-minded person knows that he's lying. Absolutely. And mark my words, the man was not apologizing. But he was, it was just watch it. You're going to be like, honestly, if you were ever going to throw something at the TV or whatever, this would be the time, because he's just bloody obnoxious is what he is. But anyway, welcome everybody. I'm going to take calls after my rant. If you would like to be on, either I do like a whole bunch of different, I will do whatever it takes to please, I can't say whatever, but I'll try really hard, whatever it takes to get your voice heard, whether it's I interview you and you decide what you want, you come on live, whatever you want to do. I want to support the voices of Black, Brown, and Indigenous people of mixed heritage, and just people who care about their fellow humans. And that's my goal. So I will put this number up after the rant. If you want to call in on the topic, I would love it. It makes me really happy if you call in. If you know anybody who would benefit from this or would like to join in the conversation, please consider inviting them. I have stopped advertising. So, and it's nice to keep a small group, but the more the merrier for me. It's good for the channel, because the algorithms in YouTube, the more people who you have, the more people see your videos. I don't really get it, but I watched like a gazillion videos on it, something like that. But marketing's never been my thing, I guess you could say. All right, enough about me. Let me see. If you have something to say about a personal experience about racism, bigotry, inequality, corruption, something you've gone through, as long as you glean something from it. Like, you can't do it just to be nice to me. It has to be, because it's inappropriate for a white person or, anyone who cares about their fellow human to ask people who are living through this systemic racism to expend their emotional energy on, please teach me, tell me. It has to be something you want to do. So the people who come on, they can't do it just because they're nice people. They have to do it because it would be good for them. And I really mean that, because people are under enough pressure. They don't need to be doing favors for people, and especially people who've been dealing with this stuff their whole life. So enough said. I am always looking for volunteers to do anything and everything. I can't keep up because I work full time and I do all this other stuff, and I'm not worthy. But anyway, tonight's topics. Number one, okay, you can laugh if you want, I guess. Our insane week is one of the topics, and I'm just saying because it is and it was. Another topic is how white Trumpster terrorists are able to easily breach our Capitol building. Who's to blame? Who's not? Will there be consequences? Tracking the violence. Ronald, welcome. Thank you for being here. So after I do a little rant, please jump in and tell me what you think. And if you want to call, I would love that. The number's right there. And let me see. So I will start with the question of the week, which I have to admit I changed like 50 times. And if you do question of the week, put like question of the week so I know you're not asking me something. I get so confused. Okay, just put like question of the week answer, or just make it so I know. Okay, the question of the week is, and answer however you want. Don't answer. Be silly. Do what you want. Do you think Trump's 74 million followers who believe all his freaking lies will even be remotely moved by the second impeachment, or what they saw or participated in or just saw at the Capitol building last week? Or is it they've just gone too far? They're completely indoctrinated and they're like Klan. You tell me. So that's the question of the week. Do you think Trump's 74 million followers are going to stick with him. Do you think anyone was moved? Like what the actual, you know what? That's insane. This group is insane. But see, this group's been insane. Okay, no, not, you know, probably in the DSM, you know, book of psychological disorders, but I mean, something's very wrong with these people. I'm sorry. Like I always say, it's us, not you. If you're a Black, brown, or Indigenous person, this is a system that's done this to you. Okay. And I'm speaking in generalizations, but yeah, it's not you, it's us. We have a white person problem in America, and we don't have to have it, but we do, because we stick our heads in the sand, and I have no answers for us. I have no excuses for us, but we have a white person problem in America, and please don't let anybody tell you otherwise, because I don't teach people who are Black, brown, and Indigenous about racism. Nope. Do not. Nails and glitter. Called. Hello. Yeah, I don't know. I keep this little stoogey hope that maybe like they could turn normal, and like, I don't get the cult thing. I just don't get it. Like, maybe I'm not trying to like toot my own horn, but you know, those experiments people do for psychological, like where they'll try to get you to shock something, you know, they're old fashioned experiments from a long time ago, or they'll have fire coming from under the door and you sitting there. I'm like, excuse me, I'm even like, when I was shy, I'd always be like, I'm not going to sit there and do something cruel. I've always been like that. Maybe that's why I don't get it. Because I was really shy, but I'm not like a follower. I don't know. It's not about me, but I constantly racking my brain. Like, how can I get these people to, and it's not because I want to be a hero or a savior. Oh God, we're way too late for that. Plus, I have no interest in being a hero or savior. I just can't stand this. I can't personally stand this systemic racism everywhere. I see it everywhere. And I have since I was 6 years old, and I'm a white person. So just think how people who aren't white would feel. I mean, so anyway, that's why I blab and blab, because if one white person sees me talking about racism, systemic racism, and white fragility, and et cetera, and they're like, oh, there's some white lady talking about it. And I lived through it, because we're so afraid to talk about racism. Because we're like, oh, we don't want someone to think we're racist. Well, you know what? We are. And it's like, some of it's just implicit bias, and we got to work on it. And if you work on it, that's the best you can do. So you don't feel guilty. You don't kick yourself. You just do your very best. So anyway, okay, speech over. Quote of the week. I have a quote of the week. It's kind of a long one, but it's a little bit sarcastic. I hope I read it right. Quote of the week. Donald Trump won the election if not for the voters, the governors, the secretaries of state, the FBI, the state investigators, the state courts, the U.S. Supreme Court, the Constitution, the voting machines, the free press, the Electoral College, the polls, the big tech companies, the poll workers, the judges, the post office employees, the vice president of the United States, the majority of the House, majority of the Senate, the DOJ, and the Constitution, all conspiring against him. Okay, that's the quote of the week, because when I read that, now it might not sound funny now, I was like, yeah, pretty much. Anyone who thinks, ooh, it's just a big conspiracy. Hello. Yes. Do you know how many people would have to be, you know how many nations across millions and millions? It's not a conspiracy. Trump is a racist, misogynist, bigoted bastard. Nobody wants him. And if you do want him, then sorry, can't have it both ways. Can't simultaneously be a person working on anti-racism and moving up that continuum if you're a white person, trying to learn and support a man who's racist as fuck. It doesn't work that way. Sure, you might not be burning crosses on your lawn or, hiding in sheets and whatnot, but it wasn't a deal breaker for you. And there is one thing that has to be a deal breaker, and that's our fellow humans' civil and human rights. And if that's not a deal breaker for you, you're kind of a piece of shit. No offense. And sure, hate me, whatever, say I'm too mean, but I've tried both ways. In real life, I'm very, very nice. But I've tried to be nice with this and see, like, can you kind of maybe stop, causing like catastrophic psychological, physical, mental, emotional damage to my fellow humans? That's a nice way to put it. and they don't care. And to get someone to care, I guess you have to be kind of intense. I know everyone's different, but what I'm trying to say is some people say, I'm so mean. Well, you know what? It shouldn't matter if my message is the truth. It shouldn't matter if I'm mean, nice, sweet, darling, whatever. If the message is the truth, then step up to the plate and care about your fellow humans. And I'm sorry, I blame our culture. I do. We uphold this. We do this. Okay, I'm going to shut up. Rant almost ready. Let me take some comments. Let me see. Gary. Question. They're making excuses and blaming everyone but themselves. They will follow the Messiah everywhere he goes, everywhere he says to go. On Facebook, several locals are so vile that people are reporting to the FBI. Yeah. And you guys, thank you so much, Gary. That makes sense. At this point, we have days to go, and he and his livid followers, because I mean, just imagine, and people always say, well, just imagine if you had to, and I just think, then I can't even imagine, but imagine if you were truly believing that this was real and that it was good to be racist and that you should believe people who lie and you shouldn't look into things. So I'm just trying to be empathetic, in a way to understand. Well, I don't, and I can't, but I'm trying. How would you feel? You'd act insane and crazy. You'd do crazy things. That's what they're starting to do. So please be careful. It's only going to, be exponential till the moment he is gone. And then afterwards I'm just saying, please be careful, because obviously it's getting worse and worse and worse. God, please be careful. This nation has so much growing up to do. Oh my God. Okay. Mr. FS Black, welcome. Whenever a person goes against the government in the name of white supremacy, there's no changing them. Okay, fair enough. And that's probably true. I live in a fantasy world a little bit, and I totally admit it too. I hope is the biggest, strongest emotion. And it's not like they should know better, they should do better. I just feel like, God, these people, how can they be, okay, I'll just say it, fine. How can they have, and I know people who, oh my God, do I ever? I know brilliant people who are Trump supporters. How can they live with themselves? I just don't get it. I never will, whatever. Maybe someday I will, but I certainly doubt it. Let me see here. Yeah, I'm sure you're right. I just feel like I got to just keep trying to get these people to whatever. GETV, the first person in 72 years was executed. I know. Yeah. Executed today, the first woman. So sad, because we don't believe in the death penalty. What do you think of the death penalty? I think the death penalty is the most barbaric, absolutely inhumane, hypocritical, obnoxious, racist as hell at every level. It is barbaric. And I've thought that since I was 12 years old, to kind of figure out what it was. Hi, you kill someone, we'll kill you. Hello, that is the sickest. Oh my God. And so racist. Oh my God, don't even get me started. Lassie, welcome. Welcome. Happy impeachment day from Sweden. Oh my God, I'm so happy. Welcome. I know you totally get it. I can tell. Let me go back. So, yeah, I am, it's unconscionable. I don't care what you've done. I'm sorry. Yes. And if somebody murdered someone I loved, I'd probably have terrible anger, but hopefully we don't make our laws in that kind of state. But I have to say, since I was 12 years old, and I'm old, I thought it was I had a 10-year period where I couldn't think about it or talk about it because I was so upset. It is sick. And, people in Europe, maybe Lassie can, I hope I'm saying your name right, can vouch for me. If you know about this kind of stuff, it's kind of technical. They don't even want to give us the medication to murder people. They won't send us the drugs. And when drugs are running out, there's certain protocols. Got to have protocols to murder our own people, Adult prison is not rehabilitative, supposedly. And that is barbaric. The woman who was killed had severe, severe mental illness, off the charts. She was abused almost continually. I read a lot about her continually as a child. She called out for help. She got none. She called out for help. She got one. And you know what? She finally went pretty much insane. She was sexually abused, physically abused. Oh my God, I couldn't even read about it. And basically, she did a horrific thing, which I'm not going to talk about. Yes, it was a horrific thing. But in America, see, you got GETV, you got me on a rampage here. Oh my God. I swear it's just like my, oof. The death penalty is so sick. It is unconscionable. We stand with, let's just say, the European Union. You can't even get in if you still have the death penalty. Okay. If we were a European country, they'd say, no offense, dudes, but no, you can't get membership. Okay. That's how barbaric it is. We are the only Western nation that uses it like this. And I think it's, speaks volumes to who we are in America. And no, I don't hate America. I just expect a little better from us. We're supposed to be striving towards a more perfect union. It's 2021. We just murdered a mentally ill woman. I mean, not just a little mentally ill. She was extremely mentally ill. But we killed her. So anyway, that's how I feel about the death penalty. I could rant forever. We murder people, state-sanctioned murder, just like we do with the police, with the death penalty, who have low IQs. As a special educator, I have a master's in special education, so I know a little bit about this. It is unconscionable to put someone to death who is so developmentally disabled, they don't know what they're doing. I'm not saying throw them out into, the public and let them do what they want, but for the love of God, we talk about the sanctity of life. Sick. We also put to death people. Look at me, I'm off subject. We put to death people who don't have their 2 standard deviations below the average IQ, which is really not good. We put to death people who are severely mentally ill, although we don't have a system that helps mentally ill people in America, unless you're rich and really well off, or somehow you have insurance that I don't know about, which maybe you could PM me about that, because I would like to have it. Not that I'm going insane, but I think everybody deserves a little therapy after what we've been going through with this COVID and everything and all this racism. And we put to death people who did their crimes when they were 18. Yes. We even put to death people who did their crimes and maybe they were with somebody at a young age and they weren't the shooter. And guess what? They weren't the shooter. The shooter has life in prison and they get put to death. We are barbaric. Okay, I swear I'm not going to talk about this anymore. Comments. Sorry. It's a horrible thing. And Andrea, we can have a difference in opinions without being hateful. Yeah. And you know what? Absolutely. Except for one thing. And this is my thing. And I'm not trying to be rude. I don't know if I'm old, but I will agree. And people who know me really well, I will agree to disagree on almost anything, except when it comes to my fellow humans, civil rights, equity, and their humanity. Nope. No, that's not for me to sell. And that's not for me to give away. And I won't. And I will not agree to disagree. Maybe that's my privilege talking. Maybe, I don't know. But nope. Anything else, but not that. I won't do it. I'll listen to people and hear them out and be civil and not hateful. But people who want to debate me about Trump, no thanks. There's nothing to debate. There's a certain order of operations for acting human. And he doesn't pass the first one. He's inhumane. He does cruel, cruel things to our fellow humans. No way. I mean, think of what he did to oh my God, the Central Park Five. He wanted to kill those boys. They were boys. They were kids. They were like, the youngest one was like 14. They were children. He tried to have them killed. And when they were found not guilty of anything after their lives were ruined, he still said they were guilty. He's a bastard. And that's before he ever, you were speaking of physical violence. Totally. Gotcha. Sorry if I misrepresented you. I'm so sorry. It's just hard over. We have to have you call in, so I'll know what you mean. Thank you. All right. And then they go on a rampage and it's like, that's not what I meant. Sorry. Okay. I'm terrible. But yes. I'm happy that you, and if you ever say anything and I misinterpret it, just let me know. Because I'm not perfect. I'm not even close. And you know what? I'm kind of okay with that. Some people aren't okay with that, but I'm okay with it most of the time. I only cry in the shower when no one's looking, but that's okay. Let me see here. And if you know something that's been going on that I don't know about, bring it on and teach us. Kitchen politics. Hello. CNN's Drew Griffin reported Ali Alexander, Stop the Steal organizer. Ooh, I saw him. Said he had help from Paul. Ooh, yes. Hearings will shed light on more of it. Yes. Thank you. I saw that and I was like, damn, someone's going down. It's not like we don't know we have white supremacists in every area of our life, but they've become so emboldened. Oh my God. These guys really thought that people weren't going to find out that they helped in doing this. I mean, I don't know. And the people, the indignant attitudes. Did you guys see some of the, I put some videos up and I'm sure you've seen them all over the place. I put some videos up of people who were absolutely blown away that they actually were in trouble for breaking in and being white supremacist terrorists. I believe them. They truly couldn't believe it. The indignance is like mind blowing, but I saw 3 or 4 that were kind of the same attitude. They truly don't get it. And that is terrifying. They think they have the right to do this. Anyway, my rant has a little bit to do with that, so bear with me, but let me take more comments. Let me see here. Oh my gosh, Lassie, I'm so excited that you're going to tell us about Sweden. That's awesome. I want to know everything. Let me just take some. I missed half of it. Oh no, say that again. I'm not sure what I was saying because I'm so behind. I'm sorry. And I'm talking really fast. Your English is amazing, by the way. Just wanted to say that. Okay, let me see. Kitchen politics. Trump lost and incited a riot. Yeah, which turned into an act of terrorism, really. I mean, there's no other words for it in my mind. Did you see the faces of those people inside our Capitol who were just doing their job, which is to, go through the process of the, collecting electorate votes and it's kind of a ceremonial thing? They were terrified. I saw one praying. I saw people down on the ground. They were so scared. And you'll hear tonight about some more obscure things that I've read, and because I've been reading all day long and I'm getting stuff like wow. And as the weeks go by, we're going to hear more and more about what's really going on as it unfolds. But yeah, it's did I read oops, I didn't read that part. The punch him in the, you didn't get caught by interesting. Okay. I want to hear anyone tell me that. Oh, okay, that's your next. Sorry, I got mixed up with your comments. Wait a second. Okay, Trump lost and incited a riot. I want to hear anyone tell me, oh, don't encourage people, that women are emotional and unable to control their feelings. I'll punch them in the damn throat, but you won't. That's proverbial. You will never do that. You're a very nice man. Okay, but yeah, it's ridiculous. Trump is, well, he's a bad guy. He's a criminal and he's a con man, and also he's spoiled, and he's never not gotten his way. So he's probably having horrific emotional issues with this. Or maybe not. I don't know. Something's very wrong with him. Thank you for your great comments, though. Kitchen politics, you're always wonderful. Lassie, I hope I'm saying that right. Tell me if I'm not. Criminally insane cannot go to jail in Sweden. They are allowed to have their own clothes and go out with and without staff. They can use the internet and go and see their families. See, that's called being human. And it's like, I hate to say it, and back me up, people. In America, we do the opposite. We treat them like they are worthless. Worthless. We don't give them therapy. We blame them. We don't have a system of mental health in America for everybody. If you can afford it, you can pay. Otherwise, tough shit. And as a person who has dealt with so many things in my family, extended family, whatnot, with mental health, I can vouch for that it is absolutely barbaric. And we still are in the stage of, oh, don't say it. Even though 1 out of 4 people supposedly have at least some degree in their life of moderate to severe depression. Oh, it's just a dirty secret. Really sad. But thank you for sharing that. I'm okay. When COVID's over, I'm so moving there. I think I'm kidding, but I'm not. You guys, I think I'm out of here if I can at all do it. I really do. I've just had it with this barbaric culture. And yes, I'm privileged to be able to do that, but I'm also going to try to help other people do it too. So we'll talk about that later. But let me keep taking comments. Where am I? I don't want to hurt people. These people need help. They don't need me to harm them further. They need help. Yes, they might have done horrible things, but you can't have hope for someone to do better. I mean, I don't know. No comment. All right. I just think our culture is horrifically barbaric. Kitchen politics. If anyone has the inside story of Trump getting, kitchen politics. I am not going there. I'm not going there. I think I know what that means. Yeah, that's okay. Bad. Like, he hasn't done enough things. We don't need to go there. That's kind of funny. I think you're being funny. You're being funny? A little bit funny? Jamie, welcome. Oh, carried back. Hello, welcome. I'm just messing with you. Kitchen politics has a great sense of humor, which I appreciate very, very much. But yeah, is there some rumor that I am not privy to about that kitchen politics? You can tell us all about it if you'd like. And if it's, okay, I will try to read it as much as I can. Very funny, but maybe you weren't kidding. I mean, the man is an entitled white supremacist who, as you might recall, and I'll just say this once, okay, maybe twice. He was up for charges for raping a 13-year-old child at one of the Epstein parties. And both times the case came up, they were ready to have trial and the witnesses were scared away somehow. But I don't even want to go there because it's so disgusting. And this woman's life is ruined forever. She's an adult now. God, what a horrific thing. And you know what? I believe every word she says. And true, they never had a trial. And that was because the witnesses were getting their lives threatened. And I promise you, I know exactly who was doing that. So in the 11th hour, she once again bailed. It was a couple days before his first election. Wealthy people have ways of shutting people up. It's really sick. Kitchen, blah, blah, blah. Oopsie. Okay. Kitchen politics. We are fighting 2 pandemics, coronavirus and stupid Trump cultists who don't wear a mask. Yeah, I don't get that part. And that's kind of what my rant is about. It's from a couple weeks ago, but when I get to the middle of it, oh my gosh, you guys, I hope you can relate. It's really sad. I don't know. I didn't know there's like a thing where you can not believe in science. I didn't know that was a thing. I'm just saying. I didn't know that was a thing. So I was like, you can't do that, can you? Well, I guess you can. But how convenient it is when suddenly Trump does believe in science because he got state-of-the-art care when he got COVID. Irresponsibly got it. Didn't care about anyone. He got state-of-the-art treatment. He got treatment that nobody else got at that time. They might have gotten it now, but at the time, he was, it's just, America was founded by wealthy white elites. But we have a constitution, and we're supposed to be trying to create a more perfect union. And that means a more ethical, more moral, more humane, not less. And we've slid way back. And out. Sure, you might say, oh, it's just, Trump's brought it out. They were all there. But you know what? If you're a racist piece of shit and you're quiet about it and you don't have any way to discriminate, then stay in your house and be that way. That's fine. But once Trump has allowed people to express this is where it gets dangerous. And that's what you saw at the Capitol building. People were crazed, entitled. I want to be heard. And if I don't, that was really scary, you guys. Okay. Let me see here. Back it up. Okay. Lassie. I don't think the White House staff likes to nibble. I thought they liked hamburgers. Oh, God. You're funny. I'm not going there. Thank you for, that's really cute. Okay. Very cute. Moving on. Yeah. Everyone likes a good sex scandal. Unfortunately, Trump has so many other things, and he's done so many things that, like, we don't have to go there, do we? Well, we can't. If there's something real, I'll go there. I will. I'm a big girl. I can do it. Mahako. Very sad, but we live in a country where if you care about others, you get dragged through the mud. I don't know why people have such hatred. Yeah. And that's so true. And what we were talking about before is, for some reason, Americans overall, and tell me if I'm wrong, I want you to challenge me. It's like, we look at people who are sensitive and have empathy and care and are selfless as weak. I'm sorry. No offense, people, not you guys, but anyone else who's listening. Anyone can be an asshole. I'm sorry. It takes pretty much nothing. Anyone can be a jerk. It's easy. Have we seen that? It's easy. It takes always harder to do the right thing. Always. I don't know how they made it that way, but being a jerk takes nothing. Being cruel, that doesn't take, acting on your fear because you're too afraid to face, the truth or to deal with issues, that's cowardice. That's not strength. People who are cruel to their fellow humans, that's not something to look up to. Yet in America, I'm sorry, we do. We look up to people who are ruthless. And if they're rich, oh my God, if they're rich, that's even better. It's like disgusting. A lot of people are wealthy monetarily, and they're impoverished as humans. And that's disgusting. Yet we still look up to them. When I did that interview in 2015, before Trump got elected, with the Trump supporters, and I was like scared out of my wits because they thought I was one of them. And I was like, I had to leave before I asked them any like really hard questions, because one guy said, "Oh, I have a gun on me." I was like, oh my God. So I left before I was killed. But it was very telling, because it was just, watch the video. It's a really old one. It was terrifying, the mentality. I don't even have any words. Okay, let me take some more comments. Mahako, absolutely. Carried back. Current conversation on cable news tonight is focused on new evidence that congressional staffers gave reconnaissance tours of the Capitol building on, damn, I missed that. Really? I believe it. January 5th. That's how invaders found Democratic leaders. Damn. Well, if you have anything to post up, bring it on. I figured as we're doing the show tonight, chatting, there's going to be stuff coming up. I cannot imagine what we're going to get, but we're going to get stuff. Lots of stuff coming up. Thank you. Dang. I have no doubt whatsoever. Nails and glitter, done with the lies, bias, double standards, and most of all, the normalization of violence. Yep. And the double standard just drives me crazy. Something I'm going to talk about tonight in a little rant. Mr. West Black, it's ironic how the Capitol Hill police officer who was killed in that attempted coup was murdered by the same people who screamed Blue Lives Matter and championed for the police against Black people. Yes, it is. Very, very ironic. And I will tell everybody my opinion right now because I feel this to be the truth. There's no such thing as blue lives. It's a freaking job, people. It's a job. You're not blue. No, you're not blue lives. That is a choice you make to join an organization that began in the United States as slave patrol, people who caught people who they deemed to be not humans, but were really humans. Okay. And that is unconscionable. And I have to say, as we all probably know, the culture really hasn't changed much. It's just morphed through time. And absolutely, Mr. F.S. Black, this whole Blue Lives Matter, give me a break. Blue lives have always mattered in America. First of all, there's no such thing, but I'm just saying, if we're going to go there, let's be real about it. That's disgusting. When somebody takes, a trope or like a saying or a meme type thing and uses it against a group that actually is being abused, because I believe systemic racism is an ongoing crime against humanity. And that's my very strong feelings. It's so obnoxious. It's like on so many levels, it's so obnoxious. They're just denying. It's arrogant. It's obnoxious. It's entitled. It's okay. I'm done. But yeah, they don't believe. You know what? Yeah. Blue lives didn't seem to matter then, did it? And you know what one of the scariest things was, I heard people yelling, you're a traitor, because the Vice President Pence can't say I won't take the electoral votes. It's ceremonial. It's not, there's no law that he doesn't get to say that. So they call him a traitor. It's like, no, people, here's a mirror. Look up. You're the traitors going against our Constitution. That's the definition of, and yeah. Okay. But good point. Ooh, good point, Mr. F. Black. Okay, let me kick more questions. Uh-oh. There we go. Lassie, the worst legacy from Trump are the lies. Just look how easy it is for him, the MAGA dummies, to lie. Up and down, black is white. It's exactly, you know what they do? Okay, this is so crazy. And I know this is so simple, but what they do that drives me nuts, it makes me just, makes Little Miss Hand turn into Little Miss Throttle. I don't condone it, but I understand it. Everything he's doing, he blames everyone else of doing. It's like I just want to go, dude, you're talking about yourself. You do that. That's how you think. That's how you do things. So it's almost like confessions. He accuses everybody of doing what he's doing when it's not the case. He is truly a swindler, con man, obnoxious, of the most obnoxious degree. And it's really obnoxious. Great points. It's enraging, actually, to be honest. You are so right, Mr. F.S. Black. Mr. F.S. Black is always on point. That's why I love it when you come here. Anastasia, yay, thanks for being here. Very thrilled to have you. Kitchen politics. Chris Stanton, a Trump supporter and bank manager in Metro Atlanta, has just taken his life instead of facing charges from the siege of the American Capitol. That's extremely sad. That's absolutely heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. And you guys, you might hate on me for this, but I truly believe that, and I've thought this for a really long time, and I know a lot of people do not agree. I've always believed that the whole, like Spider-Man thing, like is that Spider-Man? Yeah. With great power comes even greater responsibility and all that, or, I'm probably like morphing that a little bit, but we as human beings have this awesome thing. We don't have to just, act based on our instincts and fears. We can use critical thinking skills and think, you know what? I want to kill that person, but I'm not going to. Or, you know what? I'm going to think about that because on the surface, that sounds really bad, but let me look into it. We can dig deep and learn a lot and understand. And for people, rehabilitation is possible. I know that in my heart. And even for a person like that, yes, he would be in a lot of trouble. But if we had a real rehabilitative way to help him, he could have a normal life. And I'm sorry, this is just my opinion. Nobody in my mind could possibly be happy being a racist piece of shit. I mean, in their fantasy world, maybe, but it is such an ugly, sick thing because they know in the back of their mind that they're wrong, that there's no white supremacy. We're all humans, that they're living a lie. And sure, some of them are really living a lie, but I'm not buying it. I call bullshit on that. There's no way, if you're a white supremacist, and which there's a lot of us, some of us act out on it and some of us don't, okay? And some of us are doing much better on the anti-racism, continuum. But there's a lot of us who truly have very backwards ideologies, excuse me. And it's really scary, but there's no way they could be truly happy and fulfilled. You're hateful for no reason. It's sick. Anyway, blah, like you need me to tell you that. All right, let me take some more comments. Anastasia, thanks for being here. And Kitchen Politics, that's incredibly sad. Incredibly sad. That person died not understanding. They died, they'll never know. They'll never know what it feels like to understand the truth. Really sad. I'm a legend. You're correct, Angry Soccer Mom. Yay, I want to be correct. Thank you. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it a lot. Kitchen Politics. Trump cultists say they're scared of the next 4 years. Scared of what? Equality? Exactly. I'm sorry, but the average Trump supporter, even though I'm no Biden fan, I'm way, way into this, what we call progressive in America, which is probably called being human anywhere else. But I'm just saying, Biden is going to do more for them than they're blaming the wrong people. They're blaming my video. If you go to my website, excuse me, not my website. I do have a website. I just haven't launched it yet. I've had it for like 3 years. Okay. Yeah, I'm right on top of that. If you go to the YouTube channel, or actually even Facebook page, Angry Soccer Mom, I talk a ton about this kind of thing. I really do. I talk a ton about it, and it's kind of crazy. They're working against their own best interest, and they don't have to be. I guess they just surround people that do that, or I have no answers. But when I worked on my, it was my group that I really don't work as much on it, and there's about 5,000 people. It got taken over by these crazy people. It's a long story. I still have almost 5,000 people on it. It is a group that takes white folks who want to learn and brings them along. And it's like, I have seen miracles. I've seen people come on there and say, I'm not racist, but I never let my kid marry. It's like people like, oh, really? I don't see color. No, I mean, we've had low level, people who are way at the bottom of it. 1 year later, they're like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to be able to stay in this group anymore because the new people, they keep coming in saying, I don't see color. And that's just disgusting. Of course you do. That's disingenuous. And I'm like, because they were like that too, but they don't remember. So I'm like, oh yes, it's awful. So like they'll write to me and say, oh, thank you so much for having this group, but I have to leave. I can't take it anymore. And I'll be like, no, I get it. Go out there and teach some white people. But yeah. So I've seen miracles, and if I hadn't seen them, I would not be saying this. Not one, not two, but just over the years. It's amazing. You think you're not having an impact, but you are. it's just a really, really steep learning curve, and it never ends for us white people. So you got to kind of dump your ego at the door. And you know what, white folks, you're going to make mistakes and you're going to feel so bad. I mean, I do. If I make a mistake and I said something racist, I'm like, God. And then, yeah, I get upset. And then I take myself and I say, self, get over yourself. It's not about you. Deal with the pain and make it a learning experience and never freaking do it again, and teach others and make it. And that's what I do. Now I'm not, oh, I'm so great, but it's a humbling experience, learning about our real racial history and learning about white America and what we have chosen to do in order to benefit us. It's humbling. So I'm just saying, you're going to make mistakes. You have to be okay with it. You just have to, and keep going. And that's a hard thing to do. I'm going to do one quick plug. If you are like me and you truly believe that it is way past time for us to learn all these things and start caring about all of our fellow humans, and actually for real, not just having it as an ideal, but actually doing it, please consider subscribing and supporting and the support you have to do is watch the videos, send them to your friends. It has nothing to do with money, because nothing to do with money. It has to do with caring and wanting to educate others, because it's not coming from top down. And I'm sorry, even with Biden, I'm not holding my breath. I mean, Trump's the opposite, but it was never going to come from top down. He's the de facto modern leader of the Ku Klux Klan, as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, enough blabbing me. Okay. That's so funny, because they shouldn't be scared of anything. They should be freaking thrilled. But they're living in a fear state, which Trump has really jumped right on and used it. They're living in a fearful state. All right, let me keep taking questions here. I'm talking to myself. Shut up already. Not you, me. Okay. Uh-oh, I over-scrolled. Sorry about that. Back. Okay, Hako, politics, shake my head. That person is a coward. Gary, Carrie Beck, I love that you guys are talking to each other. That's awesome. And some members of Congress. Yeah, we are going to find out information and you know what? Also, I hate to say it, after Trump leaves, we're going to find out. Oh, yes, we are. The officer was a Trump supporter. They killed one of their own. Yeah, it's like, God, that's just that. What they did, they basically like beat someone to death. A crazy mob. That's like the lynchings that white people used to do. Out of control, crazy people who don't even know the person or know what happened. They don't care. That was surreal to me. That was surreal. This has always been about white supremacy. Because you see, these are the folks that don't get it. The wealthiest elite in America, I say this 50 times, I know probably people are like, shut up already, have a vested interest in making sure that the white masses blame Black, brown, and indigenous people for everything. And you're thinking like, what the actual, that doesn't make sense. We're the ones who enslaved them. We're the ones who had Black codes. We're the ones that had sundown towns. We're the ones that did redlining. We're the ones that, yeah, go figure. I don't know. I have no answers. But everything's twisted. It's totally psychological warfare propaganda. And the white folks fall for it generation after generation. And the wealthiest elites thank us for our service. And that's, sorry, the truth. Okay. I get exasperated. Okay. Anastasia, equity is oppression to the oppressor. A phone call. Yay. Hello. Oops. Can you say it again?
Hey, Amy's out for mom?
Yes. Hi.
It's Anna.
Yay! Thank you for calling in. What say you?
Hey, you doing? So, I am Black Lives Matter here in Mississippi, so you know that, right?
I do, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they've been calling, and asking us, hey, what are you going to do? Yada, yada, this and the third.
Yeah.
And we're like, honestly, we tell people that's white people arguing with other white people about white people stuff. We're not going to get in the middle of that. Because the simple fact of the matter is that we're not going to put our people in danger over this fight. Because, they're supposed to be apparently storming all 50 capitals.
That's what I heard. Yep, that's what I heard. That's what they say.
And I'm not, we're talking about, maybe sending people out there to be legal observers. But we're not going to put people in danger for that foolishness. And I don't know if you had seen they were talking about the black cops that were out there, and they felt like their comrades had left them out there. So not only were they beating up white cops, they were beating up black cops.
Oh, absolutely.
And their supervisors and everything were leaving them.
Absolutely. I saw people. Yep. Great points.
I'm sorry.
Great points. Absolutely great points. Yeah. I mean, the stuff we saw was I saw everything it was everything from A to Z, and that one black officer who had them chase him to keep them. I mean,
yes.
Wow.
But did you see the pictures of that they smeared feces and urine all over the Capitol building?
Oh yeah, I saw some. Yeah, it was. I mean, these people. This was. They were going to kill people. I mean, this was not a protest. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they were coming to kill people. These were terrorist acts, and I mean, that one. Good was his last name. Goodman. I can't remember his first name, but I wrote about him.
Gene Goodman.
Yeah.
Gene Goodman.
Eugene. Yeah. He. Oh my God! I just want to bow down to him. What a total above and beyond the call of duty. And if you don't know what happened, there's a video on, obviously,
No, I've seen him. I've seen it.
Yeah, no, I don't mean you. I mean the audience. I know you know what happened. No, of course.
Yeah.
I was just telling the people in the audience, because not everyone's seen that. He did. You want to tell what he did, or you want me to? It was just he lured this crazed white supremacist mob. He lured them away, the opposite direction, because the Congress people were completely vulnerable, and some of them wanted to go kill them. And he lured them like it was amazing. I was like, yes.
Angry Soccer Mom, this is what I can tell you. I don't know about anybody else that, I call myself black. I'm not a person of color, because when they mix us in like that, it dilutes what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
As a black person, I can tell you that was cathartic in certain ways. The duplicity of it is like, yeah, burn that shit down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I definitely.
All the stuff that they've done to black people, let them tear it down.
You know what, Anastasia, I was actually thinking that in a lot of ways, because of all the bullshit that black folks have had to endure. I thought, you see, now not so funny. How do you like me now? How do you like me now?
Exactly. And then the other part of it is that
totally
I was living vicariously through them. Because a lot of times with Black Lives Matter, we tell people, you shouldn't be living in an occupied state. And these people were saying that even though we know they want so bad to be oppressed, and they're not oppressed, and like you said, that Biden is going to do more for them than they think he's going to do for them.
No, yeah.
And the thing about it is, the last thing I wanted that these people weren't upset about this vote. You know what they were upset? That democracy actually worked. And that everybody had a say in what was going on.
And we're trying to create a more perfect union, and they don't want it, because that means they don't want a more perfect union. They want white supremacy.
Exactly. And so that's all I wanted to say. Like I said, we down here in Mississippi, because they bat shit crazy out here. And the thing about it, like I told my people, that we are not getting in the middle of this because we still got a fight going on right about now. And the fight is not the same as theirs. We're not getting in the middle of that.
Right.
We got cops beating up Black people down here. We have in Greenwood, Mississippi, we have a police chief that's 72 years old that has never been to the police academy. But he's a police chief. How does that work?
Wow. You're giving me such incredible insight. Just in the short amount of time you've talked on there, it's like I am so incredibly thankful for your insight. Yeah,
we have judges out here. They got justice court judges out here, right? That don't have to be a practicing lawyer. Okay, you have coroners out here that don't have to have a medical degree. So these are the things that we're fighting against here. So to be totally honest, this crap with the Capitol, we don't have the time for it, to be totally honest.
No, it makes sense. No, it makes sense. You got to take care of your own backyard
but
right
I'll
there.
Let you go, and you're awesome, and you're amazing, and I love you.
Oh, you are wonderful. Just the things you told me, like, God, I love just to know. I want the white folks that are listening to understand this. And you just, thank you so much for calling in.
We don't have the thing about a lot of times Black people, we don't have the time to fight all these fights.
It's too much energy, emotional. It's so, yeah.
It's too much. And the thing about it, I don't want an ally. I want an accomplice. I want somebody that's going to say to me, Anna, which car would take you?
Absolutely.
What car would take you?
It's not enough to just, right. It's not enough to be an ally. Nope. That's not going to dismantle anything. It's a nice idea, but it's not going to dismantle anything. And you got it. Well,
what you're doing is important, and I appreciate it, and I love you, and I'm going to continue to listen.
Thank you. And I can't wait to have you on as a guest host.
Whenever you want.
Okay.
You know
I'm getting my.
You know me.
Okay, because I'm getting my equipment, because right now it's a mess. I'm using XSplit. It's a whole story. The tech side of it is horrible, but I'm getting new stuff.
Right.
So when I get my new stuff set, I'm going to take you, and not just once, I'm going to take you up on it lots of times, because you're just a wealth of information.
Here for you.
Thank you.
I'm here for it.
I am so incredibly thankful. It's a gift.
No problem.
Thank you.
We'll talk later.
Okay. Thanks for calling in. Cool. Bye. Can I just say, I don't even know how to hang up. I love that woman. She's amazing. Now, if you're listening and you're learning and you're a white person, what she said, play it again. That's extremely important. I hope everybody, that is just, when somebody who's Black, brown, or indigenous tells you their feelings, their emotions, their take, or what's really going on, it is a gift. They're teaching you. They're teaching us. And it is a gift. Okay, I'll shut up now. But anyway, I'm all giddy and happy. All right. Yes, I'm a total geek. I'm a total nerd. Whatever. That's me. You're watching a geek. Okay, just kidding. But it's not that thing. I mean, I guess. All right, back I go. What is it? Okay. Oh, I was just reading about. Okay, let me read this and get this right. Equity is oppression to the oppressor. Right. They're scared of being on the same playing field. And it's such a weird thing, because it's like a mom saying, like, when you have another kid or something, like the kid that's like there already is like, oh, you won't love it. It's like, no, we actually have enough love for like all of our children, maybe even all yours too. There's enough equality out there. We can give up a little bit of whatever you think you're giving up. We'll be okay. Right? It all works out. But this way, it'll never work out. This kind of oppression that we allow. And now I'm not talking about the Ku Klux Klan people. I'm not talking about people who are trying to learn. I'm talking about the people, and I'll say it again like I do every stinking time, who think being nice to everybody and just, nice to everybody is enough. And God, that would be amazing if it was, but it's not. It's not enough. It's not going to dismantle a system built purposefully, knowingly by white elites to keep them in power and wealthy. It's gone too far. This has gone too far. We've stayed in denial, and it's gone too far. Enough of me. Okay. Gary, the officer was a Trump supporter. They killed one of their own. Right. Okay, I got that part. Oh, horrible. Politics. This is not over. So don't think for a second that Joe Biden will be sworn in on January 20th. Laura Trump, Eric Trump's wife. Ew. Seriously? Oh my God. What? That's a quote for real? Damn. Oh, okay. You're going to call. Okay. Kitchen Politics is going to call us. Ronald, I've heard that the Capitol police officer killed Mr. Sicknick was a Trump supporter. Totally wild that they killed one of their own. Yeah. That's what, right. That's everyone's confirming that. And the craziest thing is when there's a mob mentality, they don't care if it's they just want to be angry. Why don't they be angry at Trump? He's one of the wealthy elites. He's one of the people who does this. He uses people who work for him. He won't pay a living wage. He abuses people who work for him. He doesn't pay them. He puts them in litigation for, he's representative of the people. And not all wealthy elites are like this. No, but I'll tell you, this is our problem. Greed. It's our culture. And white folks who are in the masses, we uphold it. We're like, yeah, we want to be rich too, like you, cool. And we look down upon people who need help, and we're inhumane. We did this to ourselves. I'm just saying, we did this to ourselves. We allowed an inhumane culture, and it will always come back on you. You can't, yeah, you might be for a little while doing well, but it will always come back. Being a jackass is easy. It's always the easy way out. Anyone can do that. Doing the right thing, harder, a lot harder. Okay. So we got to stop looking up to people who are jerks. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, Ronald, you're totally right. Jamie, in Austin, Texas, white militia armed with AR-15s, AK-47s, body armor in front of the Capitol. There are the police and soldiers at the Capitol. Yeah, I've been so busy watching this federal stuff, and I have not been able to look into what's. I heard it in Albany, shit's going down too, and I heard there's a lot. We've allowed our constituency to be ignorant and to stay in the dark about our real racial history, the truth about white elitism in America, and what this liberty and justice for all thing is really about. And I'm thankful that our Constitution has a way to shift with time. But if the people don't switch their culture, then we vote for people who are going to keep us back. We don't seem to know what's really good for us. Progressive agenda, like we like to say in America, which is actually being human in anywhere else pretty much, but we think it's progressive, where we actually have a healthcare system for everybody. Wow, that's outlandish. Who could do that? Everyone but us, pretty much, Western nations. It's crazy. We're living in the like olden days, and the whole world is like, what the actual, what? Let me take more comments, and I'm going to get to my rant because I have lots of stuff to ask you and blah, blah, blah. Let me see. Yeah, it's really sad, Jamie. I haven't even looked into that stuff. Lastly, projection. That is the word. Absolutely. Psychological projection. It's in psychology. He's just projects. It's like really scary. Everything he says, you're like, oh, that's what it's like. He's confessing. Thank you for that, Anastasia. I'm a board member of Black Lives Matter here in Mississippi, and we've told our people that this is white people arguing with other white people, and that we are not getting in the middle of this BS. The same way they stormed. Yeah, what you said, that is so smart. And what you said about it kind of being a little bit therapeutic in a way. Oh my God, I totally, it's like, finally, it's come full circle, and not in a huge, massive way, but you know what? We saw what happened there. White supremacy is not healthy for anyone. And white folks need to catch on and start sucking it up and educating themselves and stop acting like barbaric animals. I'm sorry. I don't mean animals like you're an animal. I mean like people who don't have higher cognitive thinking skills, because they do. And there's no excuse. There's no excuse. It's just, if you want to hate, for the love of God, at least hate the right person. Hate the people that are doing this to you, not the innocent people. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Okay. Let me see. The Capitol, they destroy our communities. Let's see. Another cop killed that. Oh, another cop killed the cop that died. Okay, I'm not really sure because I've been reading so much. It's kind of going over my head. One police officer was basically bludgeoned to death. One was, but he lived, but he's doing like okay. And then one person who did something killed themselves. So, I mean, I need like a list of all this stuff because it's kind of here and everywhere, but I'm sure things will be coming out. Sterling, welcome. I hope you're still here. You're only 10. Oh my God, stop. You are adorable. You don't have to know anything about, oh my God, you don't have to know anything about politics. You just have to know how to have a heart and be human and ask any questions you want. The show's not really for younger kids, but if your parents let you, that is absolutely, oh yeah, oops. Yeah, maybe not. Okay, thanks, Nails and Glitter. I don't know. Yeah, it's not really a kid's show, and I think it's great you're interested in all this stuff. But Nails and Glitter knows a lot more, thank you, Nails and Glitter, than I do. And when my kids were 10, I taught them all this kind of stuff, but I was a mom to them. So since you don't really know me, but I have to say you are adorable. 10-year-olds in this chat, it's a violation of age requirement and violates YouTube terms and conditions. Oh no. So you probably shouldn't be in here, but I think you're amazing for trying. Very special, right? And if your parents want to let you, that's a whole other story. Okay. So get your parents' permission. All right. Thank you, Nails and Glitter. I'm like a hippie, like, oh, free love. I'm like, okay, my channel's going down. But anyway, Sterling, you are wonderful. I think you're going to do great things. I can tell. So cute. Okay. Let me see. Oh, wow. Okay. Lassie, I've never met a Trump supporter, but I know they smell of wet dog. Yeah, they believe lies. You're a wet dog. You're hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. Very funny. Hako, I still have white people tell me they don't see color. That's the most cliche thing some white people say to avoid the truth about racism. Yeah, it's good for us. We don't see color. We don't know what, It's like, what? Yeah, we do. It's disingenuous. I was raised in the era of colorblindness. Yes, I'm that old. And it is a very interesting thing. It is giving you, I won't get too into it, it's giving you this message that color's bad. People who have more active melanin in their bodies, which is what creates color. If you consider like white, we're not white. We're pink, peach, whatever. Everyone's some shade. But that is what it is. And if you don't see color, you're full of shit. But if your parents teach you that, and don't talk about that, don't look, don't ask, it's like you've made it a bad thing. You've maybe inadvertently done so, but it's really sad because, like, I got to tell you, somebody asked me a question, and I sometimes I do this on purpose. Somebody asked me a question. I was at a thing, and I was pointing out a little girl who was black. And I said, the girl in the red, because she was wearing a bright red, like tutu thing or whatever, gymnastics outfit. And it was really obvious to me. So I said, oh, the little girl, bright red right there. And she's like, where? And I said, and she, so I finally said, she's the black little girl right there, right there. And she goes, oh, don't say that. I was like, oh my God, what did I do? I mean, I thought she was gonna have a heart attack. I go, that's not a dirty word. She was like, oh, don't say that. And I was like, oh my God. I won't go on and on about that because it was an interesting one. But I'm just saying, we got people who are very, very uneducated and afraid. And I get that. But you got to just, if you're afraid to learn about this stuff, just say to yourself, it's not about me. It's not about our feelings. And we're going to make mistakes and we're going to feel really, really bad. And then we're going to make more mistakes. But that's how we learn. It's not about us. So anyway, I'm blabbing. Sorry. Yeah, Morocco, I cannot imagine how it's like. Seriously, dude? We have some, yeah. Wakanda, we must learn to talk and listen to each other. That is the reason I do this. It's the reason I do this. Because I want white folks to see a white person talking about racism. I want them, if nothing else, to see it's okay. And when I mess up, I say I messed up and I feel horrible. But I'm learning and it's going to be a lifetime of learning. But we got to be willing to do it. Once you get the truth, if you're anything like me, once you hear the truth, you crave more of our real racial history and the truth of how things came to be. This nation doesn't have to be like this. We could be, that's kind of why I just get more nuts than anything is, it doesn't have to be this way. We don't have to have this kind of sick culture. It's a choice. And we need to choose better because this is not what I would have signed up for. I don't, as a white person, I can't stand seeing my neighbors struggling, have no health care, have no this, have no that. I don't want to see people suffer in front of me in a wealthy nation that can afford health care for everybody. The only reason this nation has COVID like crazy is because the greedy people running our nation are too fucking cheap to use money to tide us over. We could have been tided over easily. No way. Every single last freaking person. But you know what? They didn't want to. But I'll tell you, have a war and we'll come up with that money. Have some tax, lower taxes for corporations or something like that. Oh, we'll come up with money faster than you could blink your eyes. This nation is our culture. Doesn't have to be this way. Okay, I'm such a preacher. Sorry. Wakanda, absolutely amazing advice. Lassie, I don't pander or be kind to Trump supporters. They think you're weak if you do that, and they will walk all over you again. Kindness is weakness to them. Don't do it. I just can't. I get, you're totally right. I can't buy into that. I won't. I refuse. I was raised kindness is weakness, and I was brainwashed that, and nope, don't buy into it. Won't buy into it. And I am not mean or tough or rude to Trump supporters. I actually, I feel hurt by them. I feel betrayed by them, not because they're white, but because they're my fellow humans. It's like, they've betrayed me. How could you do this to our fellow humans? How could you do this to my brothers and sisters? How? What's wrong with you? I want to scream and kind of throttle them a little, but that's not going to do anything. At this point, they won't even listen. I don't know. It's indoctrination. I don't know. But yeah, I won't be mean to them and I won't be harsh with them, but I know what you mean. I'm not like, oh, it's okay. It's not okay. But I will teach them, anyone who wants to learn. Anyone. I don't care what level they're at. If they want to learn, I'm in. I'll do whatever it takes. They can personally message me. I will work with them. anyone, because that's how much it means to me. It's a personal thing. Talk about it later. But good points. I know it's hard. It's hard to know how to be. And you know what? Sometimes they won't respond to anything. You can be mean, you can be hard, you can be nice, you can be sweet, you can be, they don't, it's willful ignorance is what it is. I'll say it. Willful ignorance. They are purposely keeping themselves, they're enjoying their status, or they can't handle the truth, or psychologically, or I don't know. But like I always say, white folks, let's be real here. If the best thing you ever did in your life is be born white, you got some pretty freaking bad issues. Okay. Find something you're good at. Find something that makes you feel good about yourself. Do something for others. You were born white by chance. It's just your melanin isn't as active as some people. You didn't do anything to be born that way. So, and we all know this. It's all just a psychological craziness. Thank you, Lassie. Carried back. Remember all the congressional subpoenas all the White House refused to answer? Yep. Well, who will have control of those records now? Yes. Okay. Can I please just say, the people in my household reminded me that even though I'm not a Democrat, both houses are going to go to the lesser of the two evils. At least I think that. And we are going to be able to, if the people, us, really push and really, really fight for progressive stuff, we got this. Okay. The fight has just begun. And I know for so many people, they're exhausted. They're just exhausted. And oh, I get it. But you guys, this is an experiment. And the experiment's kind of gotten out of control. Okay. The greed and oh my God, corporations aren't humans. I'm sorry. They're not. They're there to make money. They are not humans. They should not have a vote. I'm going to do a video on corporate welfare for anybody who doesn't know about it. It's what we do in America, and it's really bad. You guys, our system's set up to make the rich richer, and everyone else works for them. So remember that. Yeah, it's a long story. Okay, and I'm sure most people know it anyway, but still. Yes, oh my gosh, and they refused to go up and take this speak. It's unbelievable. Correct angry soccer mom. Yay, I like to be correct. Examples is even after WST stormed the cap. White supremacists. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm so proud when I get that. White supremacists stormed the Capitol. They blamed Black Lives Matter and Antifa for what they did. White supremacy is a disease. Yeah. My son came into my room and he goes, Mom, and he's a big kid. He was so not happy. He's like, okay, they're blaming Antifa. And of course, they're blaming everyone but themselves. And I'm like, wait till it all comes out. Just wait. They can pull that bullshit. That's what they do. Denial. It's, you got to wonder if these people are I just don't get it. Like, what's wrong with them? Why do they love being cruel? Why do they think that's strength? I don't know, but great points. As always, Mahako. And I'm going to kind of toot your horn a little if that's possible. Toot. Mahako is doing a series of interviews, and he's explaining what his everyday life is like. And he's moved a bunch of places in the United States, and he's amazing. He has one video that I already put out, one that I'm getting to. I promise I'm getting to it. And we're going to start doing weekly videos because he has stories to tell, and he just gets it. And he's amazing. So I'm really excited to check out his video. It's on there. You'll see him. Okay, you don't know who he is, so how are you gonna see him? But, well, look at his little. It looks like him. You'll see him. It's probably one of my interviews that I did. Probably the most recent interview. I haven't put anything else up. But anyway, check out his stuff. He's gone through some hell, but he's extremely strong and amazing. I'm thrilled we're friends. Sorry, I'm just going on and on. So anyway, check out his stuff, and I'm going to get the other one out, and we're going to have more. Everyday people. You don't have to have a PhD. You live this stuff. People deserve to have their stories told and to have them matter. And I love doing interviews. I love it. It teaches me. It's a gift. God, I'm talking a lot tonight. I think it's because I have had no dinner and I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Okay. GETV. Whoa, I lost you. It seems that democracy in America is just a piece of paper. It's so fragile and always challenged by the ones who want to destroy it, even the highest levels. What do you think? Yeah. There is an ideology and there is reality. It's like de jure and de facto, what really happens and what the law says. You can't change someone's heart. You can't force someone's heart. And that's the problem. And absolutely, you're absolutely right. These are things to shoot for, things to, probably not the right word, sorry, things to go for, things, they're ideologies that we want to do. We want to like reach for the, what is it? I always get mixed up, reach for the stars. And if you get to the moon, you've done well. These are, the founding fathers did do a couple things really, really, really great. Probably more than a couple, but they also did a couple horrific, don't get into it, but yeah, not everyone's evil or angelical. And that's a really hard place to work because it's a lot easier to think like they're either horrible or they're not everyone's extreme. One good thing they did is they allowed for, and they knew absolutely that changing times, and they absolutely knew that slavery was barbaric and wrong, but they were broken men in that way. They couldn't live up to their own ideologies. It's really weird, but some of them could, but most of them no. I guess greed is, I don't know, look at these guys. It's 2021. We have white supremacists trying to force their way to stop an election that was absolutely the most fair election in the history of our country. Guys, we got issues in this country. We got issues big time. Like, you need me to tell you that? Yeah, I think we got a hell of a lot of growing up to do. We're a very young country, and we've done some very, very bad things that don't have to be that way, but we deny it. We're like kind of like a preteen who just is really having a rough adolescence. We can't seem to just face the truth and be real. If we don't face the truth about our real racial history, we're never going to get anywhere. We're not. You can't. Lying doesn't cut it. It's not going to work. Right now we have 74 million people who are living absolute, and probably more, but those are just the ones, they're living a lie. And they are making it so that we cannot move on. And they're being incredibly cruel. Incredible. And they're not the only ones. I mean, a lot of us are, but those especially that believe in an extremely racist, bigoted, misogynistic person and support him. They are making it so that systemic racism, this barbaric crime against humanity, has strength and is emboldened. And it's unconscionable. I don't know what else to say. And no, I'm not going to cry. You're not going to make me cry tonight. Okay. But yeah, it's extremely upsetting. But yes, excellent question, GETV. Leslie, my mom had her kidneys removed with robotic surgery. Oh my God, that's so cool. She was charged $8. It's a crime. That was for room and food for one night. People, are you hearing this, people? Let me read that again. Now, Lassie's from Sweden, right? Let me read that one more time for the people in the back who might not have heard. Okay, you too can actually care about your fellow humans and vote for things that will help you and them. And we have the money in America. We're a wealthy nation. It's just somehow our culture, we don't believe in that we're worth it, or I don't know what. Okay, I'm reading it one more time. My mother had her kidney removed with a robotic surgery. She was charged $8. That was for a room and food for one night. The rest is tax funded. Most people who go bankrupt in America, you think, oh, they're spending their money on a yacht and gold and clothing, and no, medical bills. Most people in America go broke because of medical bills. That's the number one way to go bankrupt. Medical bills. Each person who's not a gazillionaire is one huge medical emergency away from losing everything. I can vouch for that. Long story. I don't care how rich you are. I don't care if you've banked your income for the medical bills are insane. I bet that surgery would be like in America. I'm trying to put some numbers down, you guys. What do you think? A kidney, robotic kidney surgery and staying overnight a night or two. That would be in the tens of thousands, if not more. Yeah. And if you had insurance, it would still be a ton. Okay. Let me just see what the bottom is. I'm almost there. Okay. T. Rogers, welcome. I hope you're still here. I'm blabbing on. T. Rogers, to be a Black person in this country. I had a white lady at work just come in my room and start making excuses for what's happening. And she tried to get reassurance or something from me about it. I just looked at her. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. But I like to interview you. That's interesting. I find myself no longer really bothering with them. You cannot support Trump and say that you love me, a Black person. 100% true. Yep. You can't. You cannot. If you support him, you do not support your fellow humans who are brown, Black, Indigenous, and very likely you don't support your fellow humans who are impoverished because of our system, who are white. And the sickest thing is the people who are the most impoverished support him because they look up to him because he has money. It's bad values. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say. It's just bad values. It's backwards values. I don't care. Honestly, I don't give a flying, you know what, if you're rich. If you're not a good moral person, I want nothing to do with you. And people might say, oh, you can just say that now. Oh, I promise. My personal integrity, priceless. 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 And that's something I've learned, and I'm very proud of that. And maybe it was easier for me than other people, but no amount of money is going to make me act inhumane. And that is something I've taught my kids. And if that were part of our culture, it's not like, oh, I'm so great. It's something I've really, really strived for. Having noticed systemic racism when I was 6 years old and been like, what the actual, you know what is going on here? Why are these white adults ignoring this? Why are they pretending it's not happening when I'm a baby and I didn't know what to call it? But I could tell that people weren't very as nice to the certain group of people. I didn't even know that it was like the people who were darker. I didn't know, but I could tell. I would go up to people who were brown people and tell them I will be their best friend. Okay. Like I knew something, like I wanted to help. I wanted to be a savior. No, I'm kidding. I didn't. I just didn't get it. I didn't get it. That was all. So, yeah, that's unbelievable. I mean, I believe it. It's just, wow. T. Rogers, I find myself, right. Thank you for sharing that. I think it's a really important thing for people to know. See, it's not okay as a white person to go up to people who are Black, brown, Indigenous, of mixed heritage, of considered non-white or whatever you want to call it. It's all made up anyway. And say, teach me, I'm the oppressor, teach me. No. First of all, we have to teach ourselves. And if you're lucky enough to have people teach you, it's awesome. Like every single person on here helps me learn every single time. I mean, it's it brings me just a little bit closer to kind of getting things, and I love it. It's a gift. It is a gift. And you have to treat it like that. You don't go up to somebody like you don't even know and like, hi, appease my guilt. It's like, no, appease your own freaking guilt. Start educating yourself, learn what you're doing, and stop it. And then once you're educated, and it takes a long time, it's a lifetime. Once you feel like you're comfortable talking about racism, and you're never going to be 100%, and you're going to make mistakes always. But once you feel like, you know what, I can teach the 30 classic cliche denials of racism. And there's about 30. There's never any more. And they're all based on complete bullshit and lies. Once you know those, and I have a video on it. It's the top 15 cliche, basically classic cliche denials of systemic racism. Once you learn them and can debunk them, then when you get practice and get your ass out there and teach other white folks. And when you hear people using them, kindly, nicely, you don't have to scream in their face, just explain why they're categorically, completely full of it, or whatever's comfortable for you. Have a plan. If you're a white person and you want to find your voice, you're going to find it by practicing. So practice, because when it really does happen, it's stressful. You got to be really comfortable with yourself. And maybe the first time you don't say anything and you're like, oh my God, I had an opportunity to stand up and I didn't. And you stand up when no one's around. You stand up when there's no Black people around. You stand up when there is, you stand up when there isn't. Because it's personal integrity. And people are listening. You're being a role model of how to act human. Not a hero. Sorry to say, it's expected. But we're not there. White folks aren't there. I don't know why. No, I don't get it. No comment, but we can do this, you guys. It's just going to be from the ground up. Mahako. Rogers. Exactly. I don't know why white people think that you can say something like all or Blue Lives Matter, but they say they love Black people. Very, very hypocritical. There's a ton of misinformation. Yes, it's obnoxious. Blue Lives Matter, all lives matter. It's like, no, actually they don't. If all lives matter, people wouldn't have had to have Black Lives Matter as a philosophical organization that brings attention to the incredible systemic racism and abuse that we afford to Black folks. We wouldn't have to have that, because if all lives really mattered, so it's total bullshit, and it's denial, and it's obnoxious, and it's uneducated, and it's embarrassing, quite frankly, for the person who says it. And they want to say that to you, and they're like, you got to be like, okay, like, what do you? I don't even know what you can say. I've had people say stuff like that to me, but I'm a white person, and so I can have this entitled white person thing going on where I educate them. And sure, they hate my guts and never speak to me again, but you know what? That's not really somebody I want to hang out with anyway. And I don't say it meanly. And I mean, in real life, before COVID, when I actually had contact with humans, I've heard it all. And yeah, most white folks are incredibly uncomfortable talking about racism. And that's really too bad, because it's something that they need to do. We need to. It's just part of, here's the thing. You don't get born into a society and say, oh, I guess that's the way it is, when you see horrendous crimes against humanity. You don't just say, I didn't set up the system. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm nice to everybody. No, it's not enough. I guess I have high standards, but it's not enough. That's not going to dismantle a system that was way before us and built for this exact purpose. It's called taking racial responsibility. Okay, rant over. More comments. Yeah, Mahako, I could definitely see, because the more I get to know you, I could definitely see you having people do that to you. Adult Swim. Watch young Pharaoh if you want to know what's truly going on, and then it says M. And I don't know what you're talking about, but hey, welcome to the show. Sorry, I'm a little too honest. Carry back. I'm so exhausted by grievance politics from the GOP and the right. So much in today's speech and throughout the campaign was whining about what a raw deal the Trumpster folks have received. What the fuck? Yeah, a lot of people are now saying, a lot of people who are really extreme are saying, what the hell did anyone ever do to you, white folks? What are you bitching about? And I get there is something going on, but for them to blame the wrong people, that's like fucked up, people. That's messed up. They're blaming the victim of our collective own white supremacy. It's like, don't blame the victim. It's the wealthiest elite love us and thank us for our services. They thank us for blaming Black, brown, and indigenous people and people of mixed heritage for everything. And it's just a bloody lie. And they love it. They love it. The New Jim Crow tell you all about it. It's a really cool book. They love it because we're doing their dirty work for them. Basically. Let me see here. I carried back. I can't imagine how exhausting. Because I know I'm exhausted. It's like, my God, it goes on and on and on and on and on. It's like, get a freaking life and educate yourself. But I know it's not that simple. Angry Soccer Mom, thanks again for the show. You take it off. You're such a sweetheart. I look forward to connecting more and doing more videos. I enjoy each Wednesday stream. Please be careful, everyone. 45 cult members are nutty and dangerous. That is true. Mahako, you are amazing. I look forward to many, 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 many years of friendship with you. You are wonderful. And so check out his videos, you guys. And I know it's getting late. Carried back. Oh my God, Mahako, your comments about 45's acolytes being a danger to is on point and makes me, don't worry. You guys, you're very sweet. Don't. This is all I want to do. And I have my white privilege, right? And this is what I want to do. And it's very, very unlikely anything that ever bad. I mean, I've had threats and all that, but it is much more dangerous for you guys. This is a choice, and this is a choice I've made, and I am absolutely good with it. But thank you. So don't worry about me. Fine. But I just worry about these next couple days, this next week or so. People are really, really angry because they've been told no. And some of us white folks, we don't like to be told no. We get really, really angry because we're entitled. And a lot of people are entitled, but in this regard, we're seeing people getting maced in the face for entering the federal Capitol building of our nation and going, I got maced. God, why? That's horrible. Why did they do that to me? Why the hell do you think they did that to you? You broke in to the Capitol building where our federal government does their work. And you tried to stop them from putting an election through. And you got maced? You're lucky you didn't get shot in the head. I mean, people were like, why? It's like, that's not normal to not understand. This is a horrible crime. And they did it anyway. So it's like, something's not right. I don't know. Thank you, Mahako, for your kindness. And let's see, do kids have free dental and healthcare in the U.S.? Hell no. No. We wish. But yeah, no, it's bad. Lassie, I'm going to jade you. I'm going to make you completely jaded for America. Sorry. This country has so much potential. But if the people, the masses, aren't educated, then we don't force our politicians. They want to stay in office, and the will of the people could be, but the will of the people isn't moral. It's unbelievable. Don, you're here. Oh my gosh, you're not late. I'm gonna take a couple more comments and I'm gonna make a quick rant because I want you to hear this rant. because it is like, it's not from me. I didn't write it. So I'm not like, oh, I'm so great. I didn't write it. It's a rant a friend of mine sent me, and I related so much to it. I hope you do too. Let me see. Lakeisha, you're being gentrified. Oh, wow. I'm so sorry to hear that. Lakeisha, we have to do an interview. I've been trying to get you on. I want to know what's going on. That's terrible. I'm sorry. Don, hi, Kim. Sorry I got here late. I was working on one of my projects and your stream came on. Yay! Thank you so much, Don. I'm thrilled to have you here. Carrie. Oh, thank you. I'm gonna do a rant and then maybe call in if you can. I've been trying to get this rant out because I just love what this man said. But yes, I would always love you to call in if you have a minute. Carried back. Okay, so what I want to know is, when does the next round of presidential pardons begin? Oh, you and many people want to know that, like today. And who will get them, right? The Trump families and all the Capitol rioters. Oh, no, I swear to God, I don't know if you heard his, okay, at the beginning of today's talk, I had some confessions. Some was about the dye I left on my hair for 2.5 hours, which was another story. And some was about that Trump's talk that he did today, his post-impeachment, post-second impeachment talk. I wanted to show everybody because it was so disingenuous. I mean, I've seen disingenuous, but this was like off the charts. He was reading it like it was creepy. I guess, I don't know. And so I videoed it because I couldn't get it's a whole long story. I couldn't get my XBook to work, blah, blah, blah. And I started laughing in the middle of it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to hell. It's not funny. It's just, I'm so mad. It's like, he was so full of it. So anyway, so that's, yeah. Check that out, because that speech totally goes with what Carried Back just said. Check out his speech. I just posted it up there. I don't laugh the whole time. I mean, but I definitely, I tried 3 times through and I was like, okay, just going to have some laughs in it. I just couldn't help myself. He's so full of shit. I couldn't go there. All right. I'm going to do a really quick rant. Please tell me if you relate. And hopefully this rant that I'm going to read is from a columnist named Umar Haque. It's some weeks old, but it is topical. Okay. It's really from like late November. All right. But this really hit home for me. So you tell me what you think. And this is this man's writing. Okay. By now you might have heard that North Dakota is the world's COVID hotspot. The world's worst COVID hotspot. The world's worst, with South Dakota not far behind. Things aren't just desperate there, they're bizarre, at least to the rest of the world. Nurses talking about patients in the COVID ICU unit that are lashing out at them because they don't believe that COVID exists while they're dying of COVID. Meanwhile, the governor refuses to make mask wearing mandatory because she thinks that masks and lockdowns don't work. You might think all that would be infuriating to Dakotans, but quite the opposite's true. They're firmly behind her, as they are Donald Trump, the president, who let COVID spin out of control, making North Dakota the world's worst COVID hotspot. The rest of the world is staggered by all that because it's staggering. It's staggering. How many twisted levels of illogic are even in there? Too many to count. People in the world's worst COVID hotspots, dying of COVID, who don't believe COVID exists, so they won't fight COVID, and they back a president and a governor who will just let it go wild and explode. It's awesomely weird that you can't really find this level of backwardness and folly anywhere else in the world, which is exactly why Dakota is the world's worst COVID hotspot. But it's not just North Dakota. 9 of the 10 world's worst COVID hotspots, and this was back in November, are American states. And that's because something went badly, badly wrong in America. In these states, which are mostly red states, Americans have become effectively martyrs for a certain idea of freedom. And this is where it gets to hit home. We, or they, as this person wrote, are willing to sacrifice anything. And I mean anything, including themselves, their family, their health, their wealth, their future, their towns, their cities, and their democracy. But what good is freedom if it's just the right to self-destruct? America became obsessed with freedom. The idea of freedom as the removal of all restraints, the right to harm others, the ability to do anything you please, no matter what, no matter how destructive, no matter how toxic, foolish, or inane. COVID's a jaw-dropping example of it. Think about the example above. It involves at least 3 levels of freedom. The right to believe COVID doesn't exist. The right to not have to wear a mask. And the right to not be locked down. All these effectively add up to the idea that Americans should be free to infect anyone they please with a lethal disease. This is truly our attitude. I 100% could not agree more, and it's disgusting. Where does this amazingly jaw-droopingly stupid idea of freedom come from? Well, COVID's hardly an anomaly. I mean, this is who we are. It's part of a larger pattern. Americans, in the vast, vast majority, think of freedom in a way that by now the rest of the rich world and much of the poor one regards as dangerously backwards. Freedom is the right not to ever have to cooperate, not to ever have to invest or to act for the commonwealth or common good. And I'll say that one more time. Freedom is the right not to ever have to cooperate, to invest, or to act for the commonwealth or common good. That's freedom to us. Why is America the only rich society in the world that doesn't have effectively any public goods? We have no functioning healthcare, no functioning retirement, higher education, and I could go on, because it's freedom. I won't pay for their healthcare, education, and retirement. Somebody will say, why not? Because they're weak. They're liabilities and burdens. They cost me money. I'm not putting my money into that. You'll say, but wait, don't you understand that means you also won't have those same things for yourself, which are social institutions that everyone should, human rights? People say, I don't care. I won't reward weakness and laziness. It's all a fantasy. These people need punishment. This is America, people. This is it. He's spot on. And you'll go on to say, and I should be free not to have to support the weak. So goes the logic of the average American. They actually believe that they too, if they work a little harder, will become wealthy like the millionaires. Ain't gonna happen, buddies. Sorry. We're suckers. The idea of freedom is something like this. Freedom means a gun, a beer, a Bible, and no rights for women and minorities. But textbooks and medicine and good food and water, not having those take away your freedom? How did Americans end up believing this incredible level of self-evident nonsense? How can a gun and a Bible give you freedom while a textbook and medicine take it away? What on earth happened to this society to make it actually accept this insanely depressing and foolish kind of backwardsness? The author will get to that in a moment, they say. But first, you might think I'm overstating the case. Well, am I? After all, something like 70% of Americans or more say they want all of those above things. They want the healthcare. They want all these good things. They want textbooks. They want education. The problem is that we never vote for them. Nope, not even this time around. Oh, no, we did not. Democratic voters made Biden rise to power, not Liz Warren, not Bernie Sanders, who were the ones championing Americans to have basic public goods, human rights. Even the Democrats and independents. No way, we can't have that. That's progressive. Yet again, Americans chose freedom for 2021. And it's crucial to note that this choice that we Americans have made collectively cuts across the left and right divide. Sure, the right, support freedom like crazy, but on the center and on the left, freedom is dominant too. Freedom so dominates American thinking, American society, our ideology, our culture, our life, that Americans have never not chosen it. Rant over. Tell me what you think. I'm just was blown away because that is so spot on. Let me see here. Lakeisha, my landlord, and Don, call in whenever you want and whatever you have to say. I would love to hear it. I'm just going to keep going until you do so. Always love you to call in. And I get the feeling you have a lot to say. I would love it. Lakeisha, my landlord is selling the property, and tomorrow the buyers are coming with the landlord's real estate broker to take a final look at the properties of the condition in the property, decide to close. Wait a second. Did you write more? Oh, interesting. Wow. That's a toughie. Wow. I'm really sorry about that. That's the one thing I have never done a video on is gentrification. I know a little bit about it, but I've never actually put it through. Let me see. I'm so sorry, Lakeisha. I really am. Lassie, how can anyone be surprised what a disaster Trump has been? You all know he's stupid. Well, yeah, I mean, I personally knew what he did to the Central Park Five, and I knew that he was very, very, very conceited and arrogant and self-involved, and he enjoyed firing people. I know what he had lawsuits for his properties where he would not allow Black tenants. He lied and was in a lot of trouble. And then instead of, acting human and doing the right thing, he just paid the fines because he could afford it and kept doing it. So he's a very, very bad man. He's not, he not because he's president, but because he's a real bad guy. He just, something, I don't know what happened. Well, as his, one of his relatives, I can't remember her name, she writes about him and she kind of speaks the truth. And she's a psychologist, I believe, a PhD, I think. And she showed a book on him and she said he's had a horrible childhood, which is no excuse because he's a big boy now and he can pull it together, but he's also had that combined with being incredibly, incredibly indulged. I don't think anyone's ever said no to that guy. So he truly believes that his shit don't stink. I don't know what else to say. Let me see. Okay. Let's take more comments. Yeah. And Lassie, I absolutely. T. Rogers, freedom. Think about freedom. Think about Black people. Open Bob, LOL. Hello, Open Bob. Welcome to the show. T. Rogers, they don't have any clue what the value of freedom is. Yeah, freedom's not free. It's not free. And too many of us in the white masses think it's free. This is the way it's always been. Oh, no, it has not always been this way. And here's an example. Women got the right to vote. No, they didn't. White women got the right to vote. Black women have been fighting for it. Oh my God. I mean, see, we don't know our own racial history. And it's just crazy talk. Joey, welcome. Glad you're here. Oh, T. Rogers, I skipped you. I loved Liz Warren. Yes, me too. She was very interesting. I know people say, oh, she was a Republican before, but she's been incredibly poor. She's one of those people who have learned, who have progressed and grown. And I absolutely appreciate that. Like, yeah, you can start out really, really inhumane, but and I don't know that she did. I didn't follow her when she was a lot younger, but she's really, really learned. And some people will never learn. They don't want to, they refuse to. and some people will grow until the day they die. I think that's something to be really looked up to. But yeah, I thought she was wonderful. Joey, there can never be unity between the left and the right. I don't believe that. But it definitely, I know what you're saying. It depends, and that's absolutely your opinion, and I'm not downing you for it, but it depends what you mean by right. Right now, the right to me basically is it's a code word for racist, bigoted piece of shit. Okay. They'll hide behind their religion. They'll hide behind their, sanctimonious, like, oh, I'm white. But the truth is, it's just another excuse to be rotten to your fellow humans. Yay, you're white. You didn't do it. Like I say, if the best thing you ever did in your life is be born white, come on, you're better than that. So the problem is right now we don't have to me, the far right is just a nice, sweet word for people who are very proud racists. I don't even know if there is a right. There used to be a right, maybe. I don't know. I'm not really into politics. The only reason I had to learn some stuff is because Trump, I was always into studying and learning about systemic racism. And we got a president who is pretty much the de facto leader of the Ku Klux Klan for the world. So I had to kind of learn stuff. But yeah, I don't know. You could be right, T. Rogers. You could be. I don't know. Joey, there can never be, oops, I already read that. Carried back. So glad you shared that. And I think maybe she's talking to somebody above. Because I don't know, because I was just blabbing on. Let me see. Joey, you cannot, okay. I'll keep repeating. Soccer mom, my ass. Joey. Oh, yeah, I'm not. Actually, my kids don't play soccer, and I work. So, and I'm like super, super into humanism. But yeah, the name does kind of throw it. It was supposed to be funny. It was supposed to be funny, but maybe not the best thing. So, I don't know if Don's still around, but if you are, we're waiting for your call. I have some news to be noted that I could go on and on about. Okay, you're there. Oh my God, it scared the crap out of me. Hello, listen to me blabbing away. Hi. Who is this?
Well, you asked to call, so here I am.
Welcome. That's so funny. Wow. I commanded a call and I got one. Thank you so much for calling in.
Yeah.
How are you, my sweet friend? Are you good?
You got a hold of the commander. So
I know.
I know how to follow orders too. My goodness, so much going on.
Yes,
as usual, you're doing a wonderful job of covering everything.
Thank you.
I don't know what all you touched on earlier, but there are a couple of subtleties and nuances going on that I wanted to express with you. I'm certainly very concerned about the backlash rage that is going on, the denial and the cover-ups with regard to so many things.
Yeah.
There was basically during the impeachment hearings, there were the evidence, the hard, and I'm happy to hear straight to the fact, evidence that was presented by the Democratic side and a few mea culpas on the Republican side. We had actually 10 that joined the Democrats in voting for the impeachment. So we can legitimately say that it was bipartisan to a certain extent. But the rest of the people that either abstained or egregiously tried to defend those actions, and I have zero idea how in the world you can do that.
They're completely lying.
Okay, so that's the broad strokes. I didn't want to spend too much time on the broad strokes because I figured you already covered that. What I really wanted to get into was the fact that you did know that the panic buttons were torn out ahead of the Capitol riots. That's my very next.
That's my very next thing. Go ahead. It was my very next thing, and things to be noted. I know Sarah Groen and Anya Presley were traumatized over that. Tell us more, because I didn't get to it yet. That's like my next thing, but tell us more, because if people don't know.
Yes, and and they had a tour. They had given a guided tour of some of the key members of the insurgency group the day before. So they were basically casing the joint.
Oh, that's terrifying.
With regard to where it was. One of the things that really blows me away is that the freshman representative from Colorado that is a QAnon sympathizer and propagating their propaganda, their
he's indignant.
Totally malicious.
Indignant. He's
yes. Well, not only that, she was live streaming. She was live streaming Nancy Pelosi's location during the attack.
Was she really? Wait, is this the one about with the gun and the whole like? I've read so much.
Yeah, she's the one that has been very adamant about wanting to be able to bring her guns into the assembly, and that's just absolutely crazy.
I don't have to walk through a metal detector and she's off her rocker. She was live streaming Nancy Pelosi's location.
Yes, to the attackers. So she was in on it. She knew. The other thing is how many. There were a minimum of 6 elected officials, Republicans, that were.
I knew 4,
in the mob
but
itself.
I didn't know. Wow.
There were 6. There were several off-duty. Now, some of these idiots, thankfully, were stupid enough to do selfies of themselves. So those 2 guys have gotten arrested. The 2 main police officers that were just off-duty and were there. They did selfies in front of the statues, giving the middle finger to people.
Yeah.
Just insane stuff. But the fact that they were literally looting and pillaging through the hallways, defecating and putting feces and so forth on valuable artifacts that are in the sacred hall chamber of the capital of the United States. It's just amazing when you stop and think about it, and you have these people that are trying to defend it in some way, and yes, it was a terrible thing, but we don't want to impeach him. Well, hello, if there's anything that then rises to the occasion of an impeachment and a Senate,
it would be this
trial and conviction. It would have to be an insurgency that's trying to organize a coup to take over the government, to overthrow the duly elected people that are going to be in the next administration.
It's unbelievable.
It doesn't get any plainer than that. It doesn't get any neon sign illustrative than that.
The more we learn, the more it's absolutely had interest. Can I ask you a quick question? I want to throw off what you're talking about, but when you say they ripped, I read 2 articles that they ripped out these things, but I didn't go in depth. It was in my news to be noted for further investigation. What the hell? Who did it?
They had hardwired security panic buttons in the chamber and in the offices of the representatives in the building.
Who did it? Who took them out?
When they had gone, yes, they tore them out so that there would be nothing. There would be no electronic connection to call for more help.
They were going to kill these people, weren't they?
Well, yeah. Well, you saw the zip tie guys that got arrested as well.
Yeah.
The plot was to come in, kidnap key representatives, zip tie them, live stream, torture them, and kill them.
And hang them in front with that noose?
Yes, in order to literally accomplish a hostile overthrow of the legitimately elected government. Now, Nancy Pelosi, whether you're a fan of hers or not, she is number 3 in the succession of events. So think about this. You have a sitting president.
Wow, this is so much bigger than I thought.
A legal election, and he organized, instigated, inspired a militarily equipped, that's the word I was looking for, equipped militia that came in, broke it. This was in coordination with a suppression of the information that needed to happen between all of the law enforcement agencies to be able to organize and coordinate and protect the actual Capitol building.
It was
Not only that,
purposefully
they've been
so
in
they
there
couldn't.
the day before,
Right.
gone through
Wow.
a tour, cased the joint, and ripped out the hardwired, already installed panic buttons so that the members would be as defenseless as possible
It's terrifying.
with regard to them executing their agenda. And that was part of their agenda, was to kidnap, torture, and execute. It doesn't get any plainer and simpler than this.
God.
This was an absolutely horrific attack on our democracy. These are people that were sworn, they've raised their hand, right hand, they claim to be good Christians, or at least religious, or believe in some spiritual deity, on the Bible with their hand, saying an oath. And as a former commander, I've given certainly the oath of enlistment and et cetera, in service to our country many times. And it says that you solemnly swear to defend against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
Yeah,
in service to the country, and in dedication and commitment to the Constitution of the United States. Now,
God,
there's
this
no
crazy.
wiggle room here for you to manipulate that in some other form that corrupts the meaning and understanding and commitment that is made when you are an elected official taking an oath of office, and you facilitate a coup that is specifically designed to usurp the authority of the duly elected officials in our government. There's no wiggle room here. This is a neon sign, plain as day, absolute horrific desecration of our democracy.
It's just getting worse and worse, day by day. The more information we get, I'm blown
Absolutely.
away. Just in the past hours. In the past hours, I've missed.
Yes, off-duty police, off-duty military,
Yeah.
In a unprecedented stand, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and all of the chairmen of the different military organizations, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, came out together and had to say that this is illegal, it's immoral, it's against our principles, and it's against the law. You have a commitment to, you're wearing a uniform. You have a commitment to honor the Constitution. It doesn't matter, we are not politically oriented. We are dedicated to the Constitution, not a political party.
Absolutely.
What you do when you go into a booth and make a vote, that's different. But when you're wearing a uniform, when you're on duty, and you have to carry that out. If you're active duty, you're on duty 24/7. So you have to purport yourself in a proper, centralized, committed to the Constitution way, no matter what. So these people that may have been off official duty, but as long as they're collecting a paycheck and they are a duly committed soldier in the military, they can be court-martialed. I don't care what the rest of the world says in terms of the civilian laws. And these people that are collecting military pensions and so forth that were there, that are retired, they can be called back to active duty, court-martialed, and have all of their pension and benefits and everything else totally stripped from them, taken away.
Crime against the United States of America.
Whatever due punishment may be associated with that. So if they need to go to the stockade, guess what? They can go to the stockade. They can do whatever they want. And that's with regard to all of those service members, officer and enlisted, that were that put themselves in a compromised position by trying to overthrow the duly elected government.
Wow. So basically it was an inside job in a lot of ways. I mean, is that right?
Yes.
Oh my God. I mean,
of course it's not right, but yes.
I mean, is that correct? What I'm saying? Is that what you're saying? This was an inside job. And the politicians and
I tried to spell this out as plainly and clearly as possible.
You did fantastic. Yeah. You did fantastic. And I'm going to replay this, just your separate section. And I hope a lot of people hear it, because you have done an incredibly great job explaining, and the amount of your expertise and your wisdom and knowledge combined with your reading and keeping up to the minute. My God. this was a coup. Wow.
Yes, it was.
Wow.
By every sense
Wow.
of the definition, it was.
Wow.
And all of the people that voted against the electoral college results
They're
have
lying. They just lied.
basically eliminated themselves with regard to their duly appointed honor and commitment to their job.
Yeah,
because
they went
I believe
against their
it's
oath.
Article 14.
Yeah, they went against
They're
their
in
oath.
direct violation of Article 14 because they already raised their hand and committed to the Constitution, not a coup, not a desperate authoritarian that lost an election in a already certified by almost 60 court cases, and the Supreme Court that is, by the way, weighted
towards Trump because he's put three of them.
The conservatives because he had 3 appointments in this court. The problem is he looks at them as his employees, and
didn't get it.
He thinks that they owe him their loyalty over their loyalty to the country and to the Constitution. And
that's where he didn't know. Yep. Surprise, surprise.
Obnoxious and ridiculous. But that's the way he thinks. And
they're lifelong too.
Mentality, as we know, he has zero intellectual acumen in order to process these things properly and correctly. He had a difficult time even reading the things that they had for him on the teleprompter, and he had no just as you articulated, he had no actual commitment to the words that he was saying.
Absolutely. I don't think he even understood the words.
He has never internalized his commitment to doing the job the way that it's supposed to be done. Doesn't matter if you're talking progressive or conservative. He never committed to doing the job. He committed to playing golf and playing emperor. That's about it.
Well, there were a lot, as I saw it, and you tell me, there were a lot of different factions involved, some innocent, some purposeful, some not. Of coordinating but wow, I'm thinking about the people. My mind right now is kind of going towards the people who were Congress people who were involved in this, and then the people who tore out the panic buttons and gave tours and oh my God, and who didn't call one guy. And I just was reading it as and I'm sure you'll know, as we were starting the show, so I couldn't continue. I heard that somebody high up tried to get the guard to come in like 6 and was told no, like 6 times. I'm hearing.
Yes. The Maryland governor and the mayor of Washington, D.C. were denied 6 times calling for the National Guard to come in because Trump would do nothing. It was Pence that actually had to take action. And
now, is that right? Do you know more about that?
For the Guard to come in.
Do you know about how Pence had to to do
Pence
that?
had to intervene because Trump was just drunk with power watching the coup unfold. And they said he was practically catatonic with joy.
Oh, I bet.
At what was unfolding.
Oh, I bet.
Two last points I want to make here that are very important. One is the Parler application and everything that was taken down. Very, very fortunately, someone on the progressive side did a download of that database before it was pulled down.
That's what I read.
So that's been fed to the FBI. They will be knocking on doors all across the country going down. The flight attendants union has requested that none of the airlines service any of the rioters.
It's dangerous. I've seen some of the videos. It's dangerous.
For one thing, they've been totally unruly on the flights anyway, and they don't want to service these people in any way, shape, or form, which is correct because they are trying to do a hostile takeover of the duly elected government. This is crazy. And this is something that you would think would happen in a banana republic that we, in normal times, we would make fun of and talk about very derisively with regard to a government system going totally off the rails. Well, guess what? We are that now.
I want everyone to hear this, what you've told us from your phone call. I want every person in this country to hear the truth from you. I mean, as a
Yes,
military commander, I mean, it's unbelievably how well you've explained it and how up on everything. And I'm going to have you on next week too, because we're going to have so much more information by then. Wow.
That's another thing. McConnell, despite his allegedly claiming to be totally frustrated about Trump and in favor of the impeachment, he is still dragging his feet with regard to, it was also requested that since we had basically an emergency vote on the impeachment, that he go ahead and approve that the Senate set up for a trial immediately.
Right, and he won't.
And he has squashed that. He has dragged his feet. He's saying Friday at the earliest and probably next Tuesday. Well, what good does that do? Everybody's gearing up for the inauguration next Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
What good is a Senate trial on Tuesday supposed to accomplish? It's just another spike strip in the road to progress, which is so important that we got those 2 senatorial seats out of Georgia with the runoff election, so that we will not have a gridlock anymore. The Vice President-elect Kamala Harris will have the deciding vote if there is a gridlock in the Senate, and Chuck Schumer becomes the new majority leader in the Senate,
which is
versus
fantastic.
McConnell, who now has to pivot to become the minority whip.
Minority whip. Yeah, minority
title
whip.
Will become.
Yep.
And despite all of this, Trump is making threats. McConnell is dragging his feet. And at every point, now that they've lost, he is claiming, oh, well, we need to have unity and we need to. No, you guys have
oh my God.
Been putting spike strips in front of the
for 4 years. They've
government process.
They didn't want unity then.
There are at least there are more than there are more than 350 bills that have been stymied and stuck on his desk that he hasn't even allowed to come to the floor to have any kind of
important things. Really important
things. So now all of that plus everything else going forward needs to be processed through the normal governmental process of what these people are supposed to be doing their job, their duly elected legislative branch of the government that is supposed to cooperate and graduate, and when they're not, then whoever is in the majority gets to influence things in the direction that they want. And these guys have just been sitting on their hands all this time. It's time to move forward. It won't be instant, but at least now we have the executive branch, the legislative branch, both sides of the legislative branch. So
we got some work to do.
The presidency, the Congress, and the Senate will now be lockstep in coordination with each other. A lot of these people that have been stepped on and suppressed for all of this time, that McConnell has been the big dog, will now be able to move forward and be the chairs of the committees that will do these. The lapdogs that the president has totally desecrated and demeaned the Lifetime Achievement Awards that he's giving to these
that's horrible,
ridiculously
horrific,
unqualified
evil.
The
opposite of what it's
well, pardon my French, but these lapdogs of his that he's giving these awards to, they were only getting awards for putting hickeys on the Furious hemorrhoid.
I mean, it's horrible.
But it's absolutely horrible. It was very notable and very visible and commendable that the head coach of the New England Patriots, Bill Belichick, denied. He refused. He's the only person in history, by the way, to sidestep and basically decline that award.
I'm very, very glad he did that. It was absolutely the right thing to do. Absolutely.
It was the right thing to do. And it's very interesting that people have been very derisive of him, the people that are his critics or the people that are Trump supporters, because they know it was a slap in the face for Trump for him to decline that award. But it was absolutely the right thing to do.
Yeah,
so,
it was the right thing to do.
Unless you have some questions, that's all I've got for now.
I got a couple questions for you, if you don't mind, because I got this wealth of amazing information and brilliance here, and I'm gonna I'm gonna this now. If anyone listening has a question, jump right in. But I have some questions. And obviously their opinions. So much is going to be explained in the coming days, weeks, months, years. It's going to paint a picture of truth that we've all been just, oh my goodness. Information is going to come out for years.
The Truth in News Act needs to be reinstated because these fly by the seat of their pants, conservative, hard right,
the fairness doctrine
organizations that people don't realize some of their IP addresses are out of the Ukraine. There's typically Putin puppets. They need to go away. Fox News needs to go. All of the Fox commentators are high school dropouts versus the commentators for example, MSNBC. They all have advanced degrees.
PhDs
they not
and
only have undergraduate degrees, but they have like for example. Rachel Maddow
is she is a Juris Doctor, right? And let me ask you, are you talking about the fairness doctrine when you're saying, is that what you mean about fairness in media? Okay, the fairness doctrine, absolutely.
I didn't remember the name precisely.
No, that's okay. I just want to
mess it up by saying
not at all.
Wrong. So,
but no, that makes total sense. And there's so much work to be done.
That we're going to find out about the things that all of those meetings that he had in Russia where he would let the translator
not show the data right in the notes. And
normally there's supposed to be a State Department person listening in on all of those conversations because those are official state-to-state conversations. And he had them in private with Putin. So many of these things are going to come out.
It's going to
Deutsche Bank is going to confiscate his resources. The PGA has thrown him out.
Really? Good.
Yes. He had in 2022, he was going to be hosting a golf tournament at one of his golf facilities. All that's going to go away. The banks have refused to work with him. Deutsche Bank was the only one that was working with him. And now they've already announced they're going to start confiscating assets because they know he doesn't have the money to pay them back. The technique is called fleecing the flock. He has been sucking money from his loyal followers.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Talking about what is it?
To overthrow the
slogan. Fix the steal or something.
Oh,
like
yeah. Stop the steal. Stop the steal. Stop the steal. Yeah, and his account and the money that he was going to give wasn't even
fraudulent. It's called fleecing the flock.
It was all for him.
Like that. It's been a total con job to just get more money to try and hold on to some of his assets.
If you read the fine print,
that New York,
the fine print said it all goes to him.
Absolutely. The Republican candidates in Georgia were absolutely livid with him because not a penny of the money that was raised in the rallies that was supposed to be for them went to them. They all went into Trump's pocket. And he spent most of his time complaining about his election woes versus trying to pump them up to get it. Luckily for us,
I saw it.
He's so
self-involved,
self-absorbed, and self-centered that he totally screwed it up for them.
He couldn't control himself. Yeah, exactly. And it's amazing the conflict of interest that he's created. Literally thousands. 2,000. They counted them. I read an article on him of conflicts of interest that allowed him to earn money off the presidency. There's scores and scores. I don't even know where to start.
It's a flagrant violation of the emolument clause.
He is like the poster child for the emolument clause.
Day one.
Unbelievable.
He's done that from day one. And he's desecrated all the laws that were for like the EPA, for clean air, for clean water, for to get rid of predatory lenders, to get rid of predatory securities.
He set himself up for business afterwards.
Managers
basically
on Wall Street with regard to all of those things that had taken you. He has thrown civil rights back at least 60 or more years with regard to all of the racial hatred that he has stirred up by his constant stream of lies and his attacking of the press. The only leaders that have totally taken war on the journalistic institutions
Oh,
in
yeah.
whatever country it has been have been these authoritarian
Yep. That's what Hitler
dictators
did.
that are pushing a fascist agenda. And these
Yep.
people were too poorly educated or too
To
blind with their
understand that that's what they're doing.
passion
Yeah.
to have a lust for power to realize what was going on. And they have empowered this fool. And he is going to jail because he will no longer be able to deny a judge's order to provide a DNA sample, for example, with that rape case that he has still hanging over his head.
I sure hope they follow through with that.
Taxes. He will no longer be able to put off the repayment of the loans. That's why all of
The
these
loans
people
are
are going to be able to.
Yep, that's why he needs money.
To call in those loans immediately.
Yeah.
The district attorneys for New York State and for the District of Columbia, and those are state, and the District of Columbia operates as a state. They are independent of federal. So he will be immediately subject to their jurisdiction as soon as he no longer has the protection of the POTUS.
He's not covered.
And right now, he has so totally nuked all of the bridges between himself and most of the people that can actually help him in the Republican Party. He doesn't trust Pence, so he is going to pardon those people in his inner circle. Well, he's basically kicked Pence in the teeth. So if he self-pardons himself, that does not legally hold water. So then he will be subject to all of the federal charges and crimes as well.
You have a question from somebody.
It's exhausting. Yes, ma'am.
I'm not sure. And T. Rogers, you have a question for somebody, and I know a lot of people are incredibly interested in what you're talking about, and your presentation's amazing, and your knowledge and wisdom. Thank you. I gotta get this question.
While you're looking for the question, one last point before I forget it.
Go ahead.
I am so afraid of what we're going to find when we take a closer look at those concentration camps for the immigrants. He was keeping them in absolute squalor. We had children's deaths before COVID hit. We haven't heard a single peep of information. He has totally squashed it ever since then.
7 babies.
And what are we? Yes. And what are we, 10, 11 months into 12, almost a year? Next month will be a full year at the end of February of exposure to COVID-19. And we know that there's no way that there haven't been who knows how many deaths that haven't been reported. Has he put them in pits? Are we going to have an Auschwitz style of revealing what's been going on?
He helped cover up rapes and molestations of these children. It's so deep. It's just not even.
It's not just the children. Certainly, the children are extremely important, but it's not just the children. There have been adults that have been in there. They didn't keep any proper records with regard to being able to reconnect the dissociated children.
Don, I did 5 videos on this. It's like it's enraging. I did 5 videos on it. I was just so it's incredible. It's incredible. You are
That's
so
all
right.
I've got for now.
Oh, yeah. People have questions for you. People want you, and so do I. Okay. Let me see. Which question? I'm trying to tell T. Rogers, which was it? Hey, doesn't the new Senate begin when Biden is in office? Yes. But I don't know if that's the question he's talking about. I would like him to copy and T. Rogers, if you can, copy and paste your question down below so I can see it, because I'm not 100% sure what you're asking. Anybody else? If Don, I hate to do it to you, but if anybody else has questions, if you add them all, I'll go right to them. I'm not sure where I see a lot of comments from T. Rogers. Let me see.
Yeah, I'm not looking at the screen right now because I didn't want to be distracted.
I got it.
By that.
I think I got it. I'm guessing.
Keep my thoughts focused on explaining what I was talking about.
I have one question here. I'm not sure if this was the actual question. Let me see if he tried to copy and paste, but it didn't let me. Are you talking, T. Rogers, are you talking about the question above where it says, you can just say yes or no. Why would they risk so much for Trump? Is that the question? Maybe? Can you put yes or no? Try to copy and paste, but it's not letting you. Oh, goodness. Because you have like a 6. I'm so sorry because I want you to be able to talk to. I want you to be able to get this answered.
Unfortunately, it's a rather long-winded answer because I have to explain some of the background.
Oh,
How did Trump get into
it? That wasn't the right question. That wasn't the right question. He's saying not that one. Not that one. Okay, wait. Oh, at 11:26. Apparently, unfortunately, I don't have times on mine. Do I? Oh. No, I don't have times on mine. Tell me what the first 2 words are. First 3 words. I'm so sorry. This is like a game. Do you mind waiting for a second? Because I really would love to have this.
I really need to go as soon as possible, but I'll try and get to one question for you.
Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just so appreciative that you came on. It was incredible. Incredible. Put the first 3 words and I'll go find it. T. Rogers. First 3 words because you have so many comments. Can you do it? You know what? I can always get the question to you, and I'm close friends with Don, so we'll. Oh, he doesn't. Okay, he has it. He has it. He has it. Let me go back. I can do this. Maybe. Give me 2 seconds. Okay. No, I can't find it.
If it's about Trump, how did he get so popular? I can answer that question.
I am looking for it. Oh, got it. Here it is. Whew. Hey, doesn't the new Senate begin? Oh, yeah. Doesn't the new Senate begin when Biden is in office? And wouldn't Mitch McConnell then no longer be in charge at that point? And I can answer that too, but go ahead if you want to. Yep.
Whoever is asking the question may not have heard, but I explained that earlier on.
Yeah.
That the simple answer is yes.
He might have missed that. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Excellent questions. He went over it, but he went over a lot of things. But excellent questions. Thanks. I'm sorry, T. Rogers, but I really wanted to get that answered. Don, I will let you go. Your wisdom is amazing. And Don has so much to offer. He has his own site. Do you want to do a quick plug for you? Because I'd love people to come over to your.
You can do the quick plug.
Okay, you gotta go
to my website. Let me answer the one question because it is a foundationally important one.
Okay.
With regard to how did Trump get so popular?
Yeah.
What happened was all of the news agencies got drunk with the popularity that he drew with him. Mm-hmm. So many people in their busy days of lives were not paying any attention to the rest of the story that you've done and that I've done, investigating his history, his pattern, what he really is like.
Surface level.
They only saw, and the technical term for this is glittering generality. People associate with a
he's rich,
celebrity.
He's cool. He's a celebrity. He's rich. Exactly. They're starstruck
because of his propped up financial portfolio, which when his taxes become available is going to be found to be a lot less than what he bragged about.
Oh, yes, you're right.
And because of the false pumping up of who he was, people don't realize that reality show, The Apprentice, that he was pumped up in front of, that's a facade. It's like the window dressing on any other Hollywood character that's in a movie or a series.
The propaganda and everything. Absolutely.
What that character shows may not have anything to do with what the real person is like. And that's what happened here. People got enamored with and fell in love with, if you will, the character,
this evil charm, this evil,
and because they called it a reality show,
people said it's real.
Made the simple connection thinking that it was real. It's not.
All they had to do was do one Google search for Central Park 5. That's all they had to do.
Yes, nope. But people aren't going to do the homework with regard to things like that. They think that by associating with someone successful, the success will rub off on them.
Exactly.
That's what establishes the psychological profile. You're a professional psychologist, so you know all these things. That what carries the psychological connection of someone thinking that by close association with or adoration
they can be like him maybe someday.
A celebrity that maybe someday some of that will rub off on them and they will be rich and successful too.
It's poor morals.
He became a cult leader. People became blindly, emotionally connected and committed to him with whatever he said. And you even heard it when you listened to his minions talk. I don't believe the fake news, but I believe Donald Trump.
No matter what, it's unbelievable.
Absolute horrific conclusion.
Yep.
Another thing that you've got me on a
okay.
bit of a roll here on.
That's fine.
The thing that was so illustrative, and once again, this is flashing neon sign, danger, danger, warning, warning. During the Republican convention, they did not come out with a platform. They said, we're going with whatever Donald Trump wants.
That's terrifying.
What?
Because he's a criminal. He's a criminal.
The only people in history that have pulled that off are Mussolini, Stalin, Hitler, David Koresh.
We have a
Jim Jones.
Don, we have a viewer from Sweden who just said Trump's used the old Soviet tactics, propaganda, whereaboutism, chaos. Yep, Bannon is saying exactly what you're saying. The communists.
I'm glad they brought that up because you hear so many Trump loyalists using KGB Putinism.
And they don't even know it.
Yes, they don't even know it. One of those techniques is whataboutism. When you bring up a fault about Trump, they don't address the issue about Trump's faults. They say, well, what about so-and-so?
Defer, deflect. Defer and deflect.
They defer, deflect, and pivot back and throw it back at you rather than absorbing, processing, and answering the actual question.
Yep. Norm says they keep lying until they believe it's, and he says things over and over. He has buzzwords. He is the ultimate con man propaganda. Yes,
propaganda. I said this to you last time. Your viewers, these may have some new viewers. The last time we talked about this.
Yeah. No.
When
please.
I was a commander during Desert Shield, Desert Storm Operation Iraqi Freedom. We analyzed the translations of Saddam Hussein's speeches to his people. And so many of the buzzwords, tools, techniques, etc., that were used by Saddam Hussein are exactly verbatim carbon copies of the same tools and manipulative techniques that Trump uses in order to have the handlebars on his poorly educated minions that follow his every word to the T.
He said, I love the uneducated. He said
the repetitive fake news, fake news. So nobody has confidence in the actual certified news organizations. And then he has this entertainment news organization made up of people that didn't even graduate high school called Fox, that is just as strongly in bed with the propaganda as the rest of the poorly educated minions that don't know any better.
They sound,
and they're following Fox and other ultra-conservative organizations as if they are true and stating facts when they're not. It's entertainment.
Trump's an evil genius.
When he traveled internationally, he got frustrated because Australia, New Zealand, the United Kingdom, they do not allow Fox into their purview because it's junk. It's total, it's actual fake news.
It's entertainment.
And they don't allow that there. In Canada,
they label
Fox
it, don't they?
has to pay an additional fee.
And they label
and they have to call themselves Fox News and Entertainment. The same way that the World Wrestling Federation had to change from federation to entertainment. WWE,
it's more
World
honest.
Wrestling Entertainment, because it's not real.
Yep.
It's a show.
Yeah,
And
it's not real. It's
what
fake. And this fake news
that's
is
what
them.
the Trump train is.
It's entertainment.
A show.
And
And
74
just like the people that
million.
watch WWE and think it's real wrestling,
Mhm.
they think he's a real president. And he
74
doesn't
million
do anything
people,
but
Don.
play golf and storm about with his own agenda.
74 million people got suckered. And
Yes.
they're sticking to their story. He is a liar.
Well,
through and through.
he
He
the only
indoctrinated
thing
them.
it's a day late and a dollar short, but now once he lost the election, the news agencies, the legitimate news agencies, the mainstream news agencies started calling him exactly what he was. They weren't pampering him anymore. They weren't treating him with kid gloves anymore.
Right.
They were calling him out and saying exactly, from CNN to MSNBC to whatever other legitimate news source is. ABC, NBC, CBS, they're starting to call him out. Fox is doing Fox stuff, but people need to understand that Fox is not real news. It's entertainment. If you ever go back and read the book by Roger Ailes, he created this whole facade, and he determined that he would be able to get strong, fast, passionate viewership if he put in people that gave opinions instead of actual news. And that's what he flooded the organization with. He had a formula. He had a thing in his mind. They're all misogynist, male chauvinist pigs that abuse the women and talk down to them and treat them as objects. But yes, it's disgusting, but they have programmed their audience to accept that as the norm.
Yeah, it's really
and
scary.
There you go.
Cult-like. And so many people are making, Lassie from Sweden and Norm and oh my gosh, T. Rogers are making such great comments, but I know you got to run.
I got to run, Ken. Thank you.
Cannot thank you enough.
Always a pleasure. Always glad to be of service. And take care. God bless. And the same to your audience. Plug my website after I'm gone.
You got it.
You know what it is, right? CreativeCrumlinassociates.com.
Yes.
Anyway, I got to go. Okay. So you take care and God bless.
Thank you so much. You're amazing. Okay.
You're very welcome. Bye-bye.
Wow. Thank you so much, Don. That was the amazing Don Crumlin. He is awesome. I am thrilled that he called in and helped. Not only does he have wisdom and experience, incredible military experience and, life experience. He is a Black man. He is a very educated man, and he reads and he caught us up to probably to date. There's going to be a deluge of information coming in it's already started, but it's really going to be wild. I'm going to try to keep up. I am asking my wonderful people who are in the show, and I'm so sorry I couldn't get to all the comments. You guys had incredible comments. I'm thrilled everyone was here tonight. If you come across breaking news that you think hits the category of corruption, inequality, anti-racism, anti-bigotry, or the opposite, please send it my way. Any information that you think is new, exciting, and important, please send my way. Send it my way, because I can't keep up. I'm only one person. I count on my friends to help me, and please contact me. My contact information is up above. If you scroll to the really, really top, contact me privately for anything. If you want to come on the show, if you have ideas, I love meeting people that are like-minded and care about their fellow humans. And you guys, we ain't seen nothing yet. This is going to be some shit show. But more than anything, please stay safe, especially these next couple weeks. We have some people who are very, very angry, and they're lashing out. And now that we know that the federal government was very, very much involved and proactive in working and making this coup attempt happen. It sounds like they were just using the public, using people who were, not able to succumb to, catch on to the fake, the lies. These people they're the ones going to jail, but heads are going to spin. There's going to be, the fallout of this is going to be incredible. So hang in there and don't be a stranger. And if you believe like I do that it's way past time to educate white people to take racial responsibility and for us to educate ourselves and learn about our fellow humans so we can be humane and good to them, please consider subscribing and giving this to white folks and having them check out some of my videos. I have a 101 series, and it's very nice. It's sweet. It's kind. It's not like rude in your face. My rants are kind of intense. There is an order of operations for people who are way low on the anti-racism continuum. So if you throw something in that's too intense, it's like they'll think you're like an alien or something and they'll run. But I have a 101 series that is a great start. So I appreciate your support. Thrilled Don came on. When you do stories like this, don't go into details because people will just start creating conspiracies. It's a big picture so people don't get hung up on the names. Yeah, I try to, I think Don did, a really good job. It depends. I don't know if you've seen my other shows. I kind of try to get a feel for what people want to talk about. But what I really love, thank you for that wisdom. What I really love is to have people call in and talk about what they know. I cannot thank everyone enough for being here. And what a great surprise to have someone who's from Sweden. Wow, pretty darn cool. I appreciate you really made this show because you know another way. And I think part of our problem in America is we don't travel. We think we're the only country in the world. And you know what? It's kind of leading to a lot of ignorance. We have the chance to be, we have all the systems to be amazing, but the people have to make us amazing. And if the people won't stop with the bigotry and the hate and stop with the systemic racism and stop harming our fellow humans, they didn't do this to us. It's a system. The wealthiest elite in America have taken over, and they've always taken over, but it's on steroids now that we have Citizens United, and we don't have the we don't have the fairness doctrine. It's out of control. We have corporate welfare on steroids. I could go on and on. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here, and please help me to build this channel. I am really wanting to get to folks that would normally never see this and help educate people, right? Because I wish no harm to anybody. I just want the Trump supporters who are harming themselves and upholding the status quo of systemic racism, which is a crime against, an ongoing crime against humanity in the US and probably other places, but I can only speak to the US. Please, you're going against your own best interest, all for nothing. Yep, Trump's job is to destroy you from within. Lassay, that's like, you said it. And on that note, I will say, everyone be safe. And hopefully we will see you next week, if not before. And check out my videos. And on the videos, when you watch them, tell me what you think. I want to know what you think, okay? Because I'll get to every last comment. Good night, everybody. Be safe. This is nuts, but you're not alone, all right? Sweet dreams, everybody. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. So, good night.